Yeah, welcome to the dojo, baby, man. Have no fear, TyKwonDoe is here, man. Listen, we got the talk of the internet right now. JustPearlyThings, Andrew Tate, Brittany Renner, and a couple other faces we are familiar with. And I've been seeing a lot of clips from this, but I've been avoiding it like the plague because I know if I'm gonna react to something on YouTube anyway, I like to just see it raw and have my fresh reaction. I don't like to have like a fake, backup reaction. Shout out to the Twitch chat. We watching this live on Twitch at TyKwonDoe. So you better act like you know and come join us next time we see something live. But to hop right into it, let's go. Let's jump right into it. Yeah, I can imagine the conversation this is about to be.
What up, guys? Welcome to the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel, and welcome to the pregame.
Alright, I have to move my camera. I'm gonna move it like about right here. Why is Tate like the only one just straight face as fuck?
Before I start, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell that we are going to be notified of.
He's not come to play.
The video on your end. We have a special panel tonight.
Let's see.
Before we get to that, a couple announcements before we start this.
Chad, you just know that the tension in this room is insane. Volume low. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is.
So the first is that we have two
better?
clips channels, Just Pearly Clips and Pearl Daily. Make sure you go subscribe to both of those. Sign up for our membership tiers. Follow me on Instagram, and thank you for 800K and thank you for 100 episodes. All right, guys, let's take a quick second and hear from our channel sponsor. Why don't we go around and
they ain't sponsored me, so I can't watch that, sweetheart.
have everyone on the
can't
panel
watch that.
Introduce yourself. Say your name, your age, your relationship status, where you're from, and just a little bit about you. Why don't we start here?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Renner. I am 30 years old. I'm single as a Pringle. I have a 1.5-year-old son, and I'm here to learn something new today.
I'll help you with that. That's why they brought me.
Damn. Well,
little flirt.
They brought me here to look for
little side flirt.
And now with the troublemaker. You thought she couldn't do it, but she did it. Here she is. I am freshly 30. I am single, not ready to mingle yet. And something interesting about me, well, I'm a smart woman. I'm here to see if Mr. Tate can learn something from me.
Oh.
Sagittarius, relax, please. Be nice. Come on, I wasn't rude.
Oh, man.
Andrew Tate, 36 years old. I cannot disclose personal information because, of course, my enemies are after me. But, yeah, I'm here to educate, as I always
Look at her
am.
face when he
Perhaps
said
somebody
that.
will say something remotely insightful, but at least I get a clementine if not. So I'm chilling with my orange.
And it's your girl Esther, the Nigerian queen. I'm here to entertain.
This is like a 1v6?
To disagree with somebody in here.
Oh, Auntie, she's
But
looking at you.
really,
What are the odds in this room, Chad? What's the teams?
I'm looking at somebody.
That's our baby.
This is my first time actually watching this podcast. When I do see clips, though, I see that the older woman in the red sweater tends to be like she tends to have opinions contrary to like modern women, or as y'all say, modern women.
Favorite duo.
But no, for real though, I'm just here to have a.
Pearl is on, and she got her arms back. She confident as fuck. She in this room like, what's good? You know what I'm saying? What's the smoke?
Time. Just get some vibes.
Auntie on Tate's side. So it's a
And
3v3.
In terms of my relationship.
So it's a 3v3.
I am single, doing interviews. I'm not just going for anybody. But yeah, that's how it is.
Let's see what's about to happen, man.
Auntie Jenny here, 54. I'm here to cut out the bullshit. Simple.
Cut out the bullshit.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Thank you, guys.
Bet
all
you
for-
do.
Yeah, you have to cut the bullshit. That's the problem with the world today. It's too much bullshit.
And they're not direct. If they've got something to say to you, just say it.
Why are you being mean already?
If you've got something to say, just say it. Don't beat around the
Yo. First of all, we already getting game and bars. Look at the difference from older generations. Listen, let me tell you something. I don't know if this is my family, how I grew up. You need thick skin to be around my family. You need some thick motherfucking skin. But you come online, you come in workplaces, you come in like more current society, it's almost as if the truth is frowned upon. Look at what she just said. All she said was, say what you mean and mean what you say. If you feel a certain way, call it out directly. Be honest. Be upfront. That's really, to me, that's a respect thing. That has nothing to do with, look at how she framed it. She said, you're already being mean. How is the truth mean?
You have to cut the bullshit. That's the problem with the world today. It's too much bullshit.
And they're not direct. If they've got something to say to you, just say it.
Absolutely.
Why are you being mean already?
How is being direct being mean? This non-confrontational conflict is a bad thing. Society is bullshit. Conflict is ways people grow. Conflict is ways people get places in life. Confrontation is actually not a bad thing.
Just say it. Don't beat around the bush. Just say it.
So basically, I'll say it.
I already got my
Just say
teammate.
it. Just say it.
Auntie,
I already got my teammate. All right, 2v4, chat. Who else?
Give the girl a
Who else is Tate drafting? That's a first round draft pick right there. That's a 54-year-old woman, red sweater. She came for the smoke. Arms back like a G. 2v4, chat. Who y'all got?
What girl? What have I said?
This one.
What have I said?
I'm addressing the elephant in the
Chat, we betting. What's the spread, chat? What's the spread?
If there's something to say, just say it. Don't beat around the bush. If you got something to say to me, I am here. Talk to my face. There should be no elephant in the room because this ain't no zoo. You understand? So if you got something to say, just say it. No, I'm just saying.
Oh!
So
shit!
I'm going to say something to you straight like I normally do. If I've got something to say to Esther, I'm going to tell Esther. Whether she likes it or not, I don't really care. Andrew Tate, my son's older than him, so I don't give a damn who he is. I'm going to just say what I got to say. So whoever don't like it, that's tough. Don't come.
You missed out, Brittany. I feel picked on.
Okay,
so right now, just off of that, they up 1. We tallying points. For YouTube, y'all don't know, this video 3 hours long. We're going to break it in half. We're going to do 2 videos an hour and a half each. Listen, they up right now. 1-0. Team, what's the name of the teams, chat?
Amber too, right? Even Pearl too.
Tradition versus modern, we'll call it. Traditional is up 1.
Better now.
Yeah, Auntie.
Team top G's.
Gave me Auntie was yelling at me in wife school the other day. So she doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, 1-0.
Okay, so my first question is, what is the number one problem facing men today, and what is the number one problem facing women today?
I'm gonna say something.
Come on, ladies. Everybody's going to educate me.
The number one problem.
Answer all the questions. Come on, tell me.
The number one problem with men is that they don't tell women the truth, and the number one problem with women is that they can't handle the truth. Simple.
Team G puts out a good serve. Can Team Modern swing back? Team G just put out a great serve.
Ooh.
You can challenge that, arguably, and say, was the truth prevalent in past society? Did men tell the truth more? Could women handle the truth any less or more than they could in the past? Let's see what Team Modern has to serve.
That's a good paradigm to start from, because it's actually very interesting you say that. A lot of women say, I just want a man who's honest. And then the second you're honest, she's like, what? You did what? It's like, well, then don't ask me for honesty. Of course I fucking lie.
Thank you.
So that's a good point. I agree with that one. I don't think it's the biggest problem, but it certainly is a problem in relationships today. That is a
Team
problem.
G is trying to agree on a problem.
I think the world is becoming hyper competitive. Most men are not aware and understanding of how quickly there's going to be a genuine shift in between those who have things and those who do not have things. Not just finances, but also female status, everything else. And it's a status game, right? And it's becoming harder and harder for men to play. And that's all women's fault, of course. Because women choose the winners, right? Women choose who the high status males are. So women pretend to give a shit about men. Of course they don't. They give a shit about themselves. And a woman, if you ask her what
Team G is wait, chat, y'all can't count the points yet. We didn't hear them serve. We got to get to the other team.
What she wants from a man, she's like, I don't want much. I just want to find a nice.
Now, one thing I heard in here: women choose the winners. This is a common thing in certain. I'm about to call us human beings. We are a species of millions of species on this planet. The women choose who they pick, right? The women choose who they have sex with. Men choose who they marry, right? I'm gonna keep this in mind. The value of the partner, ultimately, in us as humans, it really should go to the man. I have acquired these things in life. I choose who my seed goes through and how the legacy of my family continues. This I bear the burden of this decision more so as the man, especially when you get into the legal liabilities in marriage. Marriage is very dangerous legally now. Even though I do like a two-parent household, both parents being present is an ideal situation, hands down. But to this whole tangent of being super hyper competitive, I don't think everything is about money and status. I think you can have a very quality family without saying that she chose to be with the number one earning man she could be with, or he chose to be with the baddest bitch he could be with. You know what I'm saying?
Nice man who's a millionaire and 6 foot tall and funny and charismatic and interesting and spontaneous and looks after me and doesn't cheat. And is funny and good looking and strong. I don't want much. Like they name all this shit that most dudes are never gonna have.
Team
traditional.
traditional.
You end up with people, top G's who own everything on the planet they could ever possibly wish for, and then you got other guys who have nothing. And there's this large divide. There's no longer any middle ground. You have dudes who can't get any pussy, and then you got dudes who are just blocking girls left, right, and center. And that's what the problem with being a man is today.
What about the women?
I'm a step into this point because I feel like a lot of days, if you listen as a man, if you are only worth as much money you have to your name, and you are only worth as many women you can get or have, your foundation of manhood is weak. We're not even talking about principle, character, ambition. We're not talking about the influence, leadership qualities, leadership skills. We're not talking about, we didn't even mention none of these things that a masculine man can provide. A structure, strategy, vision. We didn't even get into any of these qualities. I think now in modern day society, we have funneled the man down to his wallet, and we have funneled the woman down to her body and her looks. And this is very superficial, weak ways of judging people. Let's see what she asked him. Now listen, instead of just addressing I'm gonna give the point to traditional here. Traditional stated what they said and they stood on it. Modern is questioning what they said. No, just state what you said.
And that's what the problem with being a man is today.
She has
What
the
about
question.
the women?
What about the women?
I would say
I'll tell you.
Well,
Okay.
everybody's got
She asked them to answer
I'm gonna
both.
shut up and have my clementine.
No, I want to know. I want to learn from you, sir.
You want to learn from me?
I wanted to answer. I feel like it goes for both. It's not just one or the other. I feel like it's self-accountability.
Self-accountability.
Women are not
bad.
accountable for themselves. I agree with you there.
Why just women though? What
It's
about
both.
men?
It's both.
Yeah,
It is
definitely both.
It is both. You're right. But society punishes men for not being self-accountable. But society does not punish women for not being self-accountable. I'll give you an example. If you're a man and you're arrogant and you think you're something when you're not, trust me, society will teach you very quickly that you don't matter when you don't get laid and you stay a fucking brokey. If you're a chick and think you're something when you're not, you can run around with your ego, still get dates, still get laid, still have a fairly sensible social life. Society as a whole doesn't come along and slap you in the face with realizations. If you're a man and you think you're something you're not, it is a ticking time bomb until society teaches you a lesson. That's the difference. This is why men in general are more self-accountable, because the men who are not self-accountable get fucked up. So those who are successful are very self-accountable people. They look at themselves and go, okay, the only way I'm going to get and progress further, the reason she left me, the only way I'm going to do better, make more money, et cetera, is I have to change. Most women don't want to do that. They don't sit and think, I have to change. They think, oh, he left me because it's him, and I lost my job because my boss, and this is this because of this. No, you women don't look in the mirror and change a fucking thing.
Don't forget what you're forgetting right nowadays. They can't change it because it's all about body positivity.
Are you
They
saying?
can look sexy at a size 28.
Are you saying Lizzo's not a 10?
Are you guys trying to get me canceled?
See, I'm not gonna lie, I don't agree with what you just said, because 90% of cosmetic surgery is by women. Women are trying to change as much as possible. Men don't want to change. They're not accountable for themselves. They think that because...
Excuse me, ma'am. Just because your nose is a little bit narrower, it's a harder word for me to pronounce. Just because your hips are curvier does not mean you changed. And again, I would even put this on the man. Just because you have a diamond chain around your neck or you don't, does not mean you have changed. Again, I feel as though this whole conversation, and even when you look at why men are more held accountable and why men's consequences are far greater than a woman, is because at the end of the day, as a woman, she can position herself to be covered by another man. And in life, it's supposed to be her father up until she gets into a relationship with her man. Now, a lot of women, think being covered now is I have a lot of money, I have a job, and I can afford all the things I want to pay for. But no. Part of the reason let's say in a marriage, let's say think about marriage. Part of the reason your father hands you off to another man is for coverage, for protection, right? From what? Another man. Whether it be physically, whether it be whatever. Because as women, you are very emotional. So the balance in a man who does not move off of emotions, who moves off to, discipline, structure, etc. Not saying a woman doesn't have those things. But when she messes with a man who has those things and sees her blind spots just as much as she can see his, right? She now is in a position. I'll give you an example. My grandfather, we just talked about this. If you're watching this on stream, you don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, you're watching this on YouTube, you don't know what I'm talking about. He's been married. He's been with his current woman for 22 years, right? He gave an example of how she'll sweep the porch of their property, right? And it's not obviously the safest word. So he'll tell her, like, at least have the dog out while you're sweeping the front porch, while you're on, like, the sidewalk or the block. At least had a dog out. In general, I feel like as though women do not consider the same things that men consider, such as safety, such as potential, liabilities, such as what can cause them harm. And that is just an example that I wanted to go with the, the balance that a woman gets from the covering of a man. And when we had this conversation of like, oh, women don't get held accountable, that's because women can position themselves, okay, I can be with this guy, he's a winner, he'll take me because I'm bad or whatever the reason he does. Or whatever, however he filters her through to be picked, and then she can say, "Well, I'm gonna live comfortably because he'll take care of me." Men do not get to take care of nobody.
You're gonna be attracted to them. No,
men are expected to be responsible. Men are expected to take care of things. Why? Because that's just how masculine qualities work. I believe it has more to do with masculinity and femininity and the roles they play with each other rather than being a man or a woman.
You can't be fat. You stay at home. You're just playing video games, and you expect a woman to want to fuck you. No, she's not.
These problems are like modern bullshit.
This is the point. And then she won't, and society will teach them a lesson. They might be able to pull off a little blag with a girl for a year or so, but in general, they're going to end up lonely. In general, they're going to struggle to find partners. I agree with you with the cosmetic surgery thing. Women are happy to change their appearance and change how they look, but they're not happy to change how they act. Most of them, they're not happy to change. No, they're not.
The women are changing what the men don't care about. The men don't care about the big old lips.
Yes, they do.
And no, they do it. The women are doing that for themselves.
Yeah.
Because the men don't care about it. The men would rather a woman change her stinking attitude than put on all that makeup and hair and everything. That's what the men want. But
I ain't gonna lie. She carrying right now for Team Traditional. She speaks so plainly and directly. It just cooks everything. They up 3-0.
Women will go out there like, oh, I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna change that. If you look at a man and the man said, yeah, he's fat. The man will if he's feeling bad about himself, he wants to make something, he'll go and hit the gym. What's the woman going to do? Go and do? Get a BBL, get her lips done, put on her makeup, put on her hair, and stay the big old fat person that she is and say, oh, it's body positivity. The men don't even want that. And the women are not getting all this cosmetic surgery for the men.
Tay is loving this.
They're getting it for themselves. You got to turn around. What man wants a woman?
He's like, y'all finally don't have to catch I don't have to be the main spotlight of smoke in a room. For once.
That gonna turn around, go and have an operation, and can't sit on a plane because her arse has been injected or been interfered with. She got to lie there on her stomach. You think the men want that? Or wake up in the morning before you got to hit the house, she's got to put on. I'm sure I worried about some of the men because they must go out with a woman. Ooh. And then when they wake up in the morning, they think, who the hell is she?
The scars,
by the time you take everything off, women need to change their attitudes before they change their makeup. I'm sure that even more than that, change your attitude. Because women will go out there and they would want to change this, they want to change that.
Listen, for the ladies listening, she just gave y'all a gem. If you think looking prettier and having a better body or anything external, such as getting money or whatever, getting your body, whatever you name it, whatever is external, will get you a better quality man, you are only deceiving yourself. Because a quality man is going to be intolerant of which something like she just mentioned, a bad attitude is not compliant, cannot be coached, cannot learn, stubborn, ignorant, ratchet. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these things will turn a quality man off before you waking up and looking ugly, or before you waking up and feeling bloated, Will.
Things that don't count. If you learn to, the same way how women can go out there and learn to put makeup on, learn to cook, learn to wash by hand, learn to please a man.
That is so outdated,
That's what you need to do.
That's outdated, girl.
She said,
right.
girl.
That's outdated.
She's right.
For who?
I'm saying
cooking for your family is not outdated. Can we not like address that as such?
it's like we had literally just talked about this off camera when you guys picked me up from the airport, when we were talking about what's the value system or the point system for a woman who cooks versus a woman who can suck good dick and fuck well.
But you can cook and suck dick as well.
No, but I'm saying is that Pearl, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but quoting her was that when she interviewed people on the street, that there was more points given to something for like a sexual return as opposed to wash dishes by hand. There's a dishwasher. Why cook?
Those are weak men. If you listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all woman something. If you earn all these points in a man's life because of what you can do for him sexually, he's a weak man. He's no purpose. There's no sustenance, no fulfillment in his life. You will always be a sexual tool and value to him. Always.
We can eat out. There's a chef. People don't give a fuck about that.
That's what they think.
No, but we literally just talked about this yesterday.
No, it was okay. I did a street interview and I asked the guys, would you rather have a girl that gave good head or a good cook? And most guys
want this.
But I think that's
For
more,
the quick
but I think
satisfaction.
that's more for like a one night stand.
But what I'm trying to say is that if you, all the women out there, and they're talking about, well, some of the women want to be settled down. They want a man. Right? And you got to think what the man wants. The man ain't interested in that. Look at, when you're doing street interviews, you're interviewing single people. Look at the people there that are happily married and ask them what they do. Because all the things that the women out there are doing, you can be a housewife, you can be going out, you can suck head just
No, she's cooking. She's cooking, chat. She said, yeah, you got these statistics, but what is the context of these statistics? Y'all always try to throw statistics around. These statistics are coming from people who are not in happy relationships. They're not 10, 15, 20 years married. You go ask somebody who's married, a good dick suck or a woman who can cook. You think they're going to say the same thing?
as good as any old tramp on the street.
4-0,
and keep
chat.
your man
4-0.
and have a man. And I can say that because I'm
4-0.
32 years and counting.
Auntie, you can't say
Wait,
attraction's not
I've-
important though. You can't say attraction is not important though.
It is important.
For you to
Initially.
get initially, exactly. A man is not gonna find you attractive and then think, because you can cook well. It's got a chef.
A man's gonna
Especially a man
find you
that's got money.
attractive and he's
Okay,
gonna.
let's ask Andrew.
He's gonna
Andre,
I'm not
would
gonna-
you be with a girl that's 5 out of 10 because she can cook?
That ain't what I said.
Oh, well, firstly, that's not what she said, to be fair. And secondly, I'd be with a 10 out of 10 who can cook because I'm top G. But to make the point,
Do it all
I
right.
think what you have to understand is what men are looking for in a relationship. So you did the street interview, and you're asking single people, probably young people, probably idiots who know they're on camera talking shit about good head, all this garbage. It's bullshit. What men are interested in life, not just in their relationship, but in their life as a whole, is status. I don't think most people understand, especially women, how competitive the male world is and how competitive it is for status. This is why men do everything they do. Men buy the faster car, not to drive any faster, because of status. It's why we want a bigger house. We don't give a shit where we live. It's because of status. It's why I want to go to the gym and get big and strong, because of status. Everything we do is about status. It's why I want the better jobs. It's why I want more money. It's why I want to be respected. So what's the number one thing we want our female to give us? Status. That's what we want. So she can give us status by being beautiful. That's one thing she can do. But another thing she could do is if I turn up home and I come home with my boys and she says, I'll cook you all a steak.
Well, here's a direction I'll add to everything he's saying right now. This is, catch this, and this will like give y'all a lot of awareness in this whole, his tangent or his perspective or his lens on his take here. This is being top G. This is not being a great father. This is not being, let's say defining it as I want to be a great man. Because if I'm trying to be a great father, I'm not considering faster car or biggest house. I'm considering safe neighborhood or a car that can fit my family. So y'all gotta notice the direction of the points that he's making. It's all leaning towards improving status, even down to the woman. So woman add to my status, not quality mother for my children. So I just wanted to separate. I wanted to draw the line in that sand there, because a lot of y'all listen to this. Y'all say I want to be a top G. I want to be a top G. You could be your own definition of your top G. You could be your own definition of a man. You know what? I will be fulfilled if I'm a great father and a great leader in life. I don't give a fuck if I have a faster car than you or a bigger house than you or the biggest bank account. I just want to be a great father to my family, a great brother to my siblings, a great, etc. However you define yourself and live by it is up to you. So I don't want y'all to follow this you know, what do I want to call it? What do they call it? Hamster on a wheel race of acquiring the best materialistic and external things you can in life. But if you're in the whole positioning of I want to be free from the matrix, I don't want to do this my whole life, then so be it. Follow that track. With yours truly.
That's status. That's all my boys go.
But I feel like a lot of men will burn themselves out like that. But guess what? Get rich or die trying. I just do want to put that loophole there because there can be more fulfilling things in life than what you acquire and what you achieve.
Ross, you just been out all night.
It can be who you are and who you died as.
And she's here and she's going to cook for all of us and she'll clean up and tidy up. Boom. That's the kind of girl a man's not going to want to lose because it makes him look good.
Without
That's
complaining.
what men want. Status. Suck a dick, blah, blah, blah. Listen, dick can only be sucked in so many ways. I mean, let's be serious about this.
Have you had the gut 3000?
No, this is actually a serious point, right? This is a very serious point because the Western world has collapsed in real time and it's a failed society. And one of the reasons it's a failed society is because of the over-sexualization, especially of females as a whole. If a woman comes up to me and goes, I'll be the best sex you ever had, I am fucking revolted. I don't want the best sex I've ever had. I want you to be pure and a virgin. You should know what sex is. Cook my fucking dinner. Shut up. Don't come and talk to me about fucking sucking dick. It's vile. It's disgusting. I don't want to hear that shit.
Can I say something?
I don't want to hear that shit. What makes me look good?
Yo, that's funny as shit.
About sucking dick can make me look good. So I lose interest completely and utterly. And that's the truth. So what she's saying is completely correct.
She might be fun for the night, but she will not be claimed by me. Simple.
They're old school things, but it's not about
Simple.
that. Yes, you can order food, of course. It's about
fun for the night, going by the morning.
The status that comes with it. That's what it's about.
Sagittarius.
And then even then as a man, you may say, man, I'm bougie with the dick. I ain't going for that. She can't have me, man.
True one. That is true.
My man's a Sagittarius.
Listen, well,
my man's a Sagittarius.
So basically, it's a straight shooting sort of conversation. But I think that sometimes we get distracted and we talk about the bicker between men and women. I think that the problem that men and women have is the consequences of the bad decisions that the 1% of powerful men make on our behalf, because our problems are on a societal level, less than between woman and man. That is why there's a lot of competition between men, this chase for status that they will never get.
Why is that the fault of the 1% of men?
Because they're the ones that drive the machine that runs this. The West
It's always been that way.
Yeah, but then...
Right, so you've been with a dude. So ladies, you say you get cheated on by a man who had options, a woman, and you go cheat on a guy who you're the only one he had. He couldn't cheat if he wanted to.
Think about the men that are at the top now, the corruption and everything that's going on. And this is why it feels very good to sit next to somebody like you and just say, do you know what? I appreciate that you say things that are really true. You expose a very toxic truth and a very true truth as well that is out there. But the reality is, on the trenches, when you go to the grassroots, people don't feel the way that you feel. It's not as simple as what you say. They are victims of this system. So my job here is really not to try and make it about men and women, is to make you understand that actually we need to start changing the narrative.
You don't want to make it about men and women because
they're both messed up on either side.
Because then women look bad.
No, because it's about everybody together. Women have their traumas, men have their traumas. I'm not here to fight against men and women. That's small.
I understand what you're saying. But the idea that this 1% of men have created this terrible society. Yeah, I talk about that. I talk about the Matrix. I talk about these things. But it's always been this way. It's always been a small elite group of men who are in charge of the world. And unfortunately now, we're fighting battles in different ways. The days of old, a man proved his worth by going to war. Basically, every man at any point in his life was going to end up going to war, and he came back victorious, he came back with honor, he got himself a wife. That's how it worked, right? Now men don't have to go to war as much, depending on where you live in the world, and it's slightly different, and we fight our wars in other ways. And one of the true expressions of testosterone and trying to really express your ability and your combative ability now in the modern world is power and influence. So in the olden days, you'd go to war, you come back with a ribbon. Nowadays, you got X amount of followers, you can move the world with money. I can bend reality with money. Please understand, if I walk into Jimmy Choo, they lock the door. No brokies allowed in. Tate's here. And I buy whatever the fuck I want. There's lines outside because I'm there. Mm-hmm. I bend the world with money. That's how the wars are now won. So you're talking about high status males, and it's always been that way. Now you have a whole contingent of men who aren't dead. Okay, they didn't die in a ditch, but they're lonely as fuck jerking off. And that's the reality of it. And women don't give a fuck about them. And why should you? I'm not sitting here actually shitting on women in any way. I think women have a biological instinct to a degree to try and find the best mate they can because it gives them the highest chance of survival in the harsh realities of the world. And if they look at a man who's not capable, they just don't feel an attraction to him. And that's the bottom line of it. And that's why I actually, I'm largely misunderstood. I don't blame women for a lot of the problems. Women are guilty of certain things, but I have a massive amount of blame to place on men because there's so many men who are genuinely incompetent. If I was a chick, I wouldn't fuck these losers either. Like, they're losers. So it's hard out.
I'm not advocating for the fucking losers.
I love it.
Do you know what I don't understand? Why people always going for the 1%? All the women want to rush for the 1%. Why don't you just find a regular 9-to-5 person that's going to look after you? You can be his queen. Why can't you just do that? Why is everybody really rushing? I've got a man. We don't go on social media. If it weren't for Pearl, I want no night about social media. 9 to 5. I've got our own property. 32 years, happy as Larry. What is the problem? It's not old-fashioned. It works.
No, Auntie. Let me clarify. When I meant 1% is not the 1% of attraction. I mean the actual people that are in charge of the things that run the world the way that.
What I'm trying to say is that it's always been an umbrella we've lived under.
But the difference
men have functioned underneath it. So why is it going to affect me?
I'll explain why. Because as Sir Mr. Andrew King Tate said,
Like that.
In the first round of the NGL draft, the National Glazing League, the Portland Trail Blazers pick Girl in Green. God, what the
I want to know
As he said,
I want to know what she's after.
I'll have this on after this point.
What she's after.
Yeah.
She can go home and dry that now.
Wait, it is. I've been drinking lime juice as well. So, as he very rightly said, society is now evolved. Before men went to war, now men don't go to war. So there's a lot of sense of no purpose that they need to find. And then on the women's side, is that the same way that a society.
No, this is actually spitting. They gotta get a point for this. They gotta get a point for this, chat. You know why? Because it's getting into the idea of like now the only sense of fulfillment and outlet for purpose that men have is get more money and get more women. Communities don't really exist no more. Being in married doesn't really exist no more. So it's like, what am I supposed to be, a good husband? what am I supposed to be, a good father? Like, what am I supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's scared of women. Everybody's scared to get cheated on. Everybody's scared to be in a relationship. So it's like it's very limited options here for a man to feel worth something in the world, in life.
Evolved, they made men feel less purpose. They have now had to take on bigger purposes. They have to go to work like they didn't have to do before. They have to take care of the family and work and do all of these things, and now deal with the fact that men are feeling a little bit like out of,
the rubbish. That ain't what I'm saying. You get a 9 to 5 person, right? What is wrong with you going out there, find a regular 9 to 5 person? Right? You can function underneath that, because I'm always hearing the women say, oh, we ain't got enough money. Work with what the man's got.
You're right.
Work with what the man's got. You can make a man your alpha. Everybody wants to go and find these top earning money. Find a 9 to 5, work regular, save your money, learn to cook and not have takeouts, and then save your money as they did before.
Then you should direct this to the men that feel upset because they're not like Andrew Tate.
That's always direct something to the man.
No,
Why?
but she's completely right. I'll tell you this. There's not a girl on this panel or on the planet today who couldn't walk outside and find a man who's going to be nice to her, loyal to her, and make her his queen. Women don't want that. So they'll sit there and go, no, I want Chris Brown. And then they'll go try to get Chris Brown. Then Chris Brown will cheat. And they'll be like, I can't believe he cheated. I am devastated. Well, what the fuck do you think's going to happen? If I go to the car garage, right, you have to make a decision what you truly want in your life. If you truly want to just find a man who's going to look after you and take care of you, you're going to be his queen, he's going to be loyal, you can find that all day, but you're going to have to settle to a degree where a lot of women perhaps are not prepared to do that. You see how women act. They'd rather chase a fraction of a real G's time than have 100% of the time of a fucking dude who they don't respect at that level. And it's kind of like going to a car dealership. You walk in there, if you want reliability, you can get a Nissan. But if you want to get a Ferrari, it comes with headaches. It's going to come with problems. So when girls say to me, oh, you know what, Andrew, you should be loyal to that. Men like me don't have to be. And you know that. So why the fuck are you here trying to tell me what to do? Because you know I don't have to be loyal, and all the girls I'm fucking don't have to be loyal. So why are you sitting there pretending you expected me to be loyal when everyone knew from ground up day one it was never going to ever fucking happen? And you're still here.
I think
you're still texting me.
They're going to be the one that changes you.
Well, no, yeah.
Right, and that part is on the woman's choice. You know what I'm saying? Now, if she was lied to or led or misled, that's a different case scenario. But I realize, bro, a lot of women really don't give a fuck at the end of the day.
That's the biggest mistake that girls make.
So whose fault is this? This is the female decision. They sit there and decide, no, I want this. Cool, then you're going to have to accept he ain't going to be loyal to you. He's barely going to reply to you. That's the game.
They like being cheated. I swear to God, this show has made me believe. I think women like to be cheated on.
I don't.
I swear to God, no, because all y'all ever talk about is your exes that cheated on you. That's all y'all ever talk about. And
Who?
it's like,
Only talks about that. The regular women that are on here.
The women that come on the show.
Oh, good thing I'm irregular and extraordinaire.
But do you not think it's because we're not holding men accountable? So when a man, because he's a top G, cheats on a woman, it's like, well, what do you expect? When you should actually turn around to him and
Accountable
say,
for what? Accountable for his natural evolutionary biology.
Is cheating morally correct?
Yes.
Depends.
Yes.
How
So
do you say?
He know what he's doing about to say yesterday. Yeah.
You say that? Are you
You're
joking?
okay with your woman cheating on you then?
Absolutely not. That's her.
No, because
Oh, it's a round when she cheats on you, but you can cheat on her.
It's not the same. It's not the same. Listen, cheating is one thing. It's not cheating if the person knows what you do and what they're getting into. Right? There's clearly a difference between I told her we were going to be exclusive and she found out we were not. That's cheating. But if you knew what it was, if it was already addressed like we are not exclusive, we are open, etc., and this and the third, and you can't do that. Here's my terms and the conditions of being with me, and you choose to stay with that, that's not cheating.
There has not been in the history of humanity across
a lot of you dudes be too scared to lose the woman, so y'all just lie in the situation.
Culture, any book, any story, any fable, there has never been across the history of humanity any respect put on the name of a promiscuous female ever. You name the biggest conquerors that you can possibly name from history. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, all of them. They all had 100 wives, bunch of children, big G, conquered the world. Normal. That is normal evolutionary biology. That's how men are designed to be. There's never been a single female who's been celebrated for her promiscuity ever in history. It's always been frowned upon and disgusting. So yes, we are completely and utterly different. Yes, it's different if a woman cheats on a man. And if a man is at a complete top level of his life and ticks every single box, and if he decides to be loyal, which some do, and I can be loyal, and I have been loyal, but there's also times in my life where I think, fuck it, I don't want to be, and get a new girlfriend every single day of the week. I can do.
And the consequences on a woman for cheating is much more dangerous than for a man for cheating, bro. And we're not even just talking about STDs. STDs is one thing. We're talking about potential pregnancy. You know what I'm saying? You get pregnant, and then the dude who was just fucking you said, I don't want to take care of that child. And the dude you cheated on with says, I ain't taking care of that child. Now you sitting here pregnant, having to feed this baby, and now you're having to do it on your own, which causes a whole plethora of other issues. So that in and of itself.
Decide to do that. If a woman decides to do the same, purely because her value is high enough.
Brittany been quiet. I know Brittany ain't got nothing to say, man.
To attract so many males because she's beautiful, for example, it is completely different. And I'm going to explain to you why it's completely different. So buckle up.
She listens.
It's different. It's different. It's different. Well, I'll tell you why.
Yeah, she put her teeth up.
For a female to be promiscuous on a long enough period of time without devaluing herself, because she is fucking people she shouldn't be fucking. There is no way she is sleeping with endless men.
Brittany felt that.
And all of them are either high value men
look at her face.
or treating her the way she should be treated. If you find a woman who slept with 50, 100 dudes, she's either fucking dudes which aren't at her level or haven't worked hard enough to try and get the pussy. She was just too drunk to realize he's a loser, plays video games. Or she's fucking a top G who barely texts her back. So either way, she's fucking dudes she shouldn't be fucking, or a guy who's at the level who doesn't give her the right amount of attention. For a woman to find a guy who's truly on a level, who truly treats her the way she should be treated, that's once every couple years, if that. You ain't just gonna go out there fucking a new dude every week and
There's not a lot of quality men out here. There's not a lot of quality men out here. And you know, we got this whole culture now, which is like, oh, you're slut shaming. Damn right. But not for the sake of, oh, you're a whore, and oh, I'm just judging you as a whore. But for the sake that there's no way you're vetting these men. There's no way and there's no way you're being conscious of who you're allowing into your life. There's no way. There's no way you're having all this sex. You are not consciously sitting here saying to yourself, okay, is this a good guy, bad guy, see this, see that, or that. No, you're just having sex recklessly with all the potential problems that could come from this, which will fall back on you as a single mother, as whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, ladies, this is just the truth. Quality men are much more rare than a quality woman. Period. And I'm not even talking about quality as though he got a big bag, he got the money. A lot of men have money. A lot of people have money nowadays. A lot of people got money. Don't be fooled. People got money out here. So money is, we're not just talking about quality off of money. Status. A lot of people have followers and no money, just all status. Power. Now, power is a bit more rare, right? Especially because there's different forms of power. But I'm saying there's not a quality men who could be good leaders, men who could be intentional leaders, intentional fathers, intentional, husbands or boyfriends or etc. are hard to come by.
Say, yeah, he's worth pussy.
Men who are purpose driven.
Yeah, he treats me good enough to get my pussy. Da da da. And you know what's funny about the universe? It's actually beautiful about the universe because it's equal and opposite forces. When you devalue yourself, it's kind of like men can smell it on you. They can just look at a bitch and go, oh. And that's the way it works. So you have to be very careful as a female and sit and go, does this man truly deserve to fuck me? And if you think about it, the answer 99% of the time, especially if you're promiscuous, is no. So when a woman is sleeping around with all these men, she's devaluing herself. She's devaluing herself, and the world knows,
like 7-1.
The universe knows. When a man does it, he doesn't devalue himself at all.
Like 6-1.
That's just the way it works.
Can I ask you a question? Wait, Esther, 1 second. So,
He just dropped a fucking bomb. Brittany Renner turn away, roll her eyes. Come on, speak on it. Address it. I want her to just like address it so bad.
It's just the way it works.
Come on.
Can I ask you a question? Wait, Esther, 1 second. So, may I ask you?
Usually she got the strongest personality, the strongest disagreement, the strongest standpoints. But for some reason today, you can't really see it because my camera in the way. Her body language is over here, legs crossed that way, and eyes like she's trying to like reject the confrontation of this as much as possible.
Question. What would you say if a woman now is married to 2 men?
Haram.
Why?
No, I'll tell you why. Let's talk about this. What is the difference between a man, let's say me, I have 4 wives, right? What's the difference between a man having 4 wives and a woman having 4 men?
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time.
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time, and we know who the parents are, right? So let's say you had 4 pregnancies, you know who the mother is because she's carrying the baby, and you know who the dad is, top G. If you had a woman with 4 men and she gets pregnant, who's the parents?
What about if...
No, I'm asking.
Okay,
do you know?
I ask, what if they're different races?
Answer
one white,
the
one black.
You don't know.
Answer the question.
You don't know. Now, modern science can come along and maybe fix that for you, but that doesn't mean it's not wrong in the eyes of God. The idea of having a family, the idea of a child being born, one of the baselines for a new life to come onto this planet is for at least to understand who the 2 people who made it are, at least. If you have a woman fucking 4 dudes, you don't even know who got her pregnant.
So may I just say...
disgusting.
Wait.
Have you seen the twins that had 2 different dads?
And then at the end of the day, who chooses to be liable for that child and cover you and the child? You can say, I'm covering myself, but a father is much more than money for financial coverage. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I saw that. May I just say something then? So if that is the case, if the one thing that you're meant to have is you, at least you know who the 2 people that put that child on earth are, then that's why promiscuity for men is also a problem, because they get women pregnant. Sometimes they don't even know they have children. That's haram, no?
No, it's completely different. It's different because you have to understand, I'm talking about humans. You have to look at humans from a societal perspective, but society has changed, right? So let's say 200-300 years ago, if a woman got pregnant, she needed a man to survive. If that man didn't take care of her during pregnancy, she was going to die. She couldn't work a job. She couldn't hunt, couldn't fish, whatever, right? A woman literally needed that man for survival. So if you were to come to me and say, I'm pregnant, but you've been fucked by 4 different dudes, I'd be like, who says it's mine? Why am I looking after you? None of them want to look after her. She will literally perish. This is why in most of the world today, still today, virginity is so coveted. And throughout all of history, it's been so coveted because that's the only way to ensure paternity. She's a virgin. I know that's my baby. She ain't a virgin. Prove it's mine. Outside of this modern science bullshit, shaitan, the devil we have here in the West, in most of the world today, without virginity or at least a low body count or at least anti-promiscuity, you can't tell that that's your baby. So it's a completely different thing. You're looking at the idea of a woman being pregnant and coming to a group of men and saying, one of you has to take care of me and put up with me when I'm fat and moody and annoying and I need my bills paid. And all the men are going to sit there and go, no, fuck no, prove it's mine. You can't prove it, bounce. Where it's different. If I get 4 women pregnant, we know the deal.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So obviously back then for survival, women needed a man. Otherwise, when they were pregnant, they could die and all of these things, they would perish. In today's society, given evolution, given the fact that as women we can go and get... Men. Yeah, but I'm not saying that. Isn't there a glitch between what is actually happening and the nature of what we have in our bodies? I think that's probably the conflict that we're having right now.
Glitch in what way?
in the sense that women don't feel like they need men in the most physical sense, perhaps like naturally.
It's very interesting. Women don't feel like they need men in a physical sense because life is soft, but it's bullshit. And it's bullshit because you still need men by proxy, one, and two, the second life gets difficult, you very quickly learn how much you need men. But women will go, I'm independent, I don't need no man because I have an OnlyFans and men pay my OnlyFans, and if anyone comes up to me, I'll call a male police officer. I don't need men. Shut up, you fucking idiot. Of course you do. You just named your whole life is based on fucking men. The road you're driving on was paved by a man. The house you're living in was built by a man. The car you're driving was designed by a man. Your whole life depends on men. And the second anything bad were to happen to you, the second you were physically threatened, or times were to get hard, or war were to start, or famine, or riots, the first thing you do is find a big strong man, shit yourself, and throw the feminism out the window. Feminism goes out the fucking window the second that the snow needs shoveling, or there's a fucking broken down car, or the tire needs changing. Then all that crap vanishes. It's garbage. And this is the very interesting thing. I'll make a point here, which is going to get me canceled again, but I don't give a fuck. But this is the point. Feminism in and of itself can't be defended. The point of an idea is that it can be defended by the people who believe in it. This has been the whole point of war since the dawn of time. It doesn't matter if it was the Christians against the Hindus, it doesn't matter if it was the Germans against the French. There were people who had ideas and ideologies, and they were prepared to fight each other to defend their ideology. Feminism is an ideology which cannot be defended by feminists. The only people who could defend feminism are the men who subscribe to the garbage. If all the feminists were to get in a line and say, we want feminism, and the conservative men were to get in a line, you would learn very quickly it's bullshit. I had a friend in Afghanistan when Taliban kicked America out. And he told me the Americans were telling the girls they could go to school. So they built all these girls' schools, and they put the Afghanistani Defense Forces there, and they funded the Afghanistan Defense Forces to protect these schools. You had American satellites, you had night vision goggles. Taliban were afraid to attack. America leaves. Now you have Afghani Defense Forces. They're basically blind. They don't have satellites anymore. Don't have night vision, whatever. So now it's a real war. The men are standing next to this girls' school. The Taliban are coming. You're some dude. You're standing there, and you're looking at this girls' school going, I don't really give a fuck if girls go to school. Bounce. And you didn't fight. So that's why they all gave up and Taliban took over so quickly. And when I said this, the girls like, yeah, they should have fought for us, feminism. Why don't the women fight?
Can I ask?
Oh, wait, the women can't defend their own fucking idea. You need men to defend feminism. So that's why the whole thing is stupid. So the second men don't defend it, it just fails as a fucking ideology. It's garbage.
May I tell you something now? So this is the thing. This is when we assume that women perhaps don't have the physical or even mental ability to go to a war. Wait, because this is the thing. For example, in Ukraine, a lot of women took up arms. And in fact, I'm Angolan. Wait, I'm Angolan. Wait, I'm Angolan.
Don't lie.
Listen,
to the people at home.
Wait, no worries. I'll talk about my personal story. Let me tell you something. This is the thing. I think it's also really like silly to assume that, for example, a woman, because she didn't go to school, she'll not be as intelligent as a man. Therefore, naturally, a woman is not intelligent. No, it doesn't make sense. If we're now starting to normalize equality and we want to put everybody in the forefront, give a woman a gun.
Who's normalizing equality?
Well, that's what people are wanting. Then that's
people
the case.
Like who?
Let me tell you, Auntie.
Who wants to normalize equality? People like who? Feminists. Who else wants to?
Well, actually, no equality. I want respect. That's really all I want.
Stopping you from getting respect.
Exactly.
No,
I get respect.
I get respect. I get respect.
So
that's what I want. That's what I like.
Respect.
What I think is,
you don't even know what you want.
I'll tell you what I want.
Know what you want. You want equality,
as a woman, I carry myself
respect.
differently. I actually hold the things that I have done in the fights that I fought. I hold it. That's why when you.
What I take on this woman in the middle is that she is an advocate for like more modern ways of thinking, but she's a somewhat more balanced perspective. As it's not off the charts delusional, but then she's like, it's like, yo, how you gonna sit here and say, okay, it's moving towards respect? Well, I feel respected. So what are you talking about? It's like she's trying to advocate just because I feel like she feels as though it's right in her heart.
You speak to me,
but like not like. So like, what was the point you were about to make there?
I move different to many of the girls. That's why when you talk to me and you argue with me, I don't take it. You do sometimes. And I'll tell you something. A lot of women may have the.
Repeat what she just said though. I don't argue. I tell you.
To be somebody, but they are uncomfortable to own that.
Oh my God! Did y'all hear that?
The reason why, then I would like to ask you. For example, I do need a man, for example, to procreate. But other than that, I'm quite strong, and I would find a way to protect myself differently. With that mentality, what would be the man that would be for me then?
Denava, what would you do if one of these security guards broke into your door?
What would I do? Okay, I'll tell you.
What would you do? What would
One,
you do? No, seriously, there's no guns here.
She's a feminist.
I'll tell you. No, I'm not a feminist. I'm not a feminist. I'm a bit smarter.
Okay,
Either
okay.
I play
These two
dead.
guys.
One.
Play dead.
Yeah.
Okay, they see you're not dead.
It's okay.
They
No,
see
I'd
you
be like
play
this,
dead.
and then if not, maybe I would kind of like be very gentle and comply to find a way to get out of it.
so
If they want to come and kill me, there's not much that many people can
let's
do.
make an important point. You're talking about equality equaling respect. The way you get respect as a woman is by being feminine. There's nothing, we can be equal and very, very different. I'm not saying that there's not equality, but you've confused equality with the same. You can be equal with completely different things. You can have a bishop and a knight on a chessboard. They're equal in terms of points, but they do different things, right? A woman can have equal respect to a man if she is very good at being a woman, and a man gets respect for being very good at being a man. When a woman decides she wants to act like a man, or a man wants to act like a woman, that's where it all gets fucked up. We try to pretend it's all the same. It's not the same. Men and women are good at different things. We have different strengths, different weaknesses. There's nothing wrong with accepting that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm a woman, I'm good at X, he's a man, he's good at Y. Then we work together as a team, we have a beautiful family, we're happy forever. It's only confused where you have women who sit and go, no, because then
that was it right there. It's like, what the fuck is going on nowadays? What is the problem? The extremes. Well, as a woman, I got all the money I could ask for. The fuck do I need a man for? I was like, was a man's only value as much money he could provide? And then boom, you have the men. Damn, I don't have no money, no status, no muscles. I'm nothing as a man. It was like, damn, was being, having money and being known, and being able to punch somebody in the face your only value as a man in the unit of a family, or producing a successful family? Was that it? So it's like, we're misplacing what's important.
Quality.
And then we could blame capitalism. We could blame whatever we want to blame, but we really misplace what is important and what is valuable to a significant other or the success of a relationship.
We can fight in war. There's no fucking women on the front line of Ukraine. That is
what are y'all
bullshit.
doing?
They put some chick there dancing around doing Pokemon dances to try and convince men to go fucking die in a ditch. It's garbage. If you go to the front line of Ukraine right now, you do not see women in their makeup and their manicures. You see fucking men in the freezing cold dying. You know where the women are? Dubai, chilling. That's where the women are. So to sit and pretend that women are just as capable physically as men is a fucking lie. It's delusion. To say that you're as strong as men is delusion. You are good at other things. You're better than men at a lot of things, but it's not the physical.
And it's the thing, though. It's like these points become disrespectful. It's like, no. A male was meant to do and be the things that a male was supposed to do and be. High testosterone. Testosterone comes with, features and traits and characteristics of masculinity. Then we have societal definitions and ways of defining masculinity. But then we go into the woman, high estrogen, high, features of femininity and traits and qualities that come with that. And they were meant to complement each other very well. Meant to, okay, you do this and I am this, you do this and I am that. We come to like this is just, it is what it is. I don't like the striving to do and be another person's role and job is a problem. No. Here's what I want and expect out of you, and here's what you want and expect out of me. Either we meet each other's, either we are beneficial to each other in the ways that we want to be, or we are not. Just sounds like quite a simple agreement here. I don't know. Like, the problem with society, we try too much to overstep what one or the other person is, and then we got gender roles and gender norms, as people call them, and it's like, well, outside of feeling controlled and suffocated as most people would have it be, the whole entire point of it was to be beneficial to each other. To say, okay, I got your back, you got my back, or you got the food and the dishes, I got the bills, or you take the kids to school and I get the car that takes the kids to school. It's like, I'm not asking you to do everything at once.
Physical world.
I'm not asking you to be a mother and a father and a mother, or a brother and a sister, or a grandparent and a mom no, just be what you are and who you are. Play your role and position. When I was growing up, bro, I feel like I heard things as, it takes a village to raise a child. It's like now we try to make it seem like, well, I'm a single mother and I'm strong and independent. It's like, goddamn, what I thought it took a village to raise a child. Are we going to sit here and pretend that there's not a difference between a village or a community? Even outside of the mom and the dad. Bro, listen. When I was growing up, your neighbors would snitch on you, nigga. Your neighbors would snitch on you. Yo, I seen such and such over here doing this. Nigga, the community would tell on you as a kid. Are we going to sit here and pretend that there's a difference when a community holds each other accountable than if there's just me and my mom taking care of each other? Let's not be fucking stupid. But we don't say, you know, community roles in the community. No, this shit meant something. It helped each other.
About life. This is what we're saying when I was saying earlier that feminism goes out the window when things get hard. The harder the world gets, the closer it gets to the baseline of humanity. The unfortunate baseline of humanity is violence. Yeah. That's what happens. If all the electricity were to go out and all the police were to quit, this would become a violent place very quickly, and there would be fucking zero feminists left. Zero. You would all need men. That's the bottom line. Yeah. That's the bottom line. So you have to understand as a woman.
But you don't know why he's saying that? Because guess what? The trademarking qualities of his man is a man who handles business, a man who takes action, a man who does not complain, a man who steps up and handles business. Simply. As a man, you should not be fucking sitting around crying, complaining, sitting on your ass. This is weak. This is weak.
Say, okay, I need a man who's good at being a man.
But no one's saying that we don't need men in society. Of course we do. We're talking about relationships. Yeah, you're strong, but the thing is, I can live my life as a woman.
She actually putting a lot of buckets for the modern team.
Not need a man.
She playing ball, man.
Oh, Pearl, stop
like
it.
in my day-to-day life, I don't need a man to fix my car. I'll just go to the mechanic.
But listen, right?
But is the mechanic a man or a woman?
No. I'm saying yes, we need men in society, but in relationships, the only reason I actually need you is because I want you. I don't actually need you.
Do you know what?
I need you to procreate. Yes, I agree. But the thing is, I don't need you in my day-to-day life.
What if someone breaks?
Once the dude, okay. Once he nuts in you, once that part of the thing is done, that's not the entirety of that child's life. So we even make this argument. Do I need my woman to cook and clean if I have a chef? No. Does she need me to change the tires on the car if we can call a mechanic? No. Okay, let's get outside of these, external things, right? Let's talk about perspective. Let's talk about collaboration. Let's talk about unity. Let's talk about legacy. Let's talk about direction in life that you get from having a family. These are our children. These are how we have raised our children, and these are who they will be as participating members of society. Can't get that from your mechanic. You can't do that. You can't just do that alone. You can try your best. But what they say, two brains, 4 eyes, 4 ears is better than, better than one.
Breaks into your house.
2 brains is better than one.
I'll just call the police.
Okay, what if they don't come? What if the average in the US it takes like 15
and give them everything.
In the US it takes like 15 minutes for them to get there.
But that's not realistic. That doesn't happen on a day-to-day life.
What is this dress
in your house? What are you doing?
This
That's
crazy.
not realistic. I've not had any man break into my house on a day-to-day. It doesn't happen.
The point is,
so let's be realistic now.
I know what you're saying, but the point is this. The point is, when we're talking about feminism as a whole demonizes men. And you just sat and said, besides procreation, I don't need a man in my life. I can go to a male mechanic or call a male police officer. They're men. So
in society, you are needed. I agree. Okay, of course, we need you.
Of course. So you're talking about being with a man because you want to. So my question to you is, why would you want to be with a man?
Why would a man want to be with you?
Because they're sexy.
Like,
I feel like because of the
we just talk about men. Sorry, I love men.
No,
I love dick.
We don't sound like it, but it's not all about dick. What I'm trying to say is that in a good relationship, right, one that works, there's blue jobs and there's pink jobs. Right, and that's the problem that women have got.
Oh, gee,
they don't want to be doing no pink jobs.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about relationships. Why do you need a man in a relationship? Because you want a partner.
Companionship, friendship, romantic love, things that you can't get by yourself.
Like you want to go on dates with him. It's not about I need someone to fix my car. Like go to a mechanic. You're not safe. Call the police. Please,
not
like,
true.
it's not that deep.
What about a father to your kids? You don't think your kids don't need a
Exactly.
dad?
You can be
I
around.
definitely want that. These are the stuff. This is the reason
No,
I
you
need a
need
man.
that. That's not-
And I
that's not-
agree.
Wait. It's not that you want it. You need it.
I agree, and these are the stuff that I
They
need in a
arguing over
man.
smoke
But
right
it's
now.
like at the end of the day, it's not like I completely need you. It's
But
like I want you.
but the whole point is, if the lights went out tomorrow, you would need a man.
in
There's no-
society,
in
agree.
Why do we
In
act like women are so useless?
It's not that
I
deep.
can change a tire.
I'm saying if the lights.
You know, when I have discussions like this, Jay, you know what I think? I think it's like, the saying goes, you're trying to judge a fish's, you're trying to judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. It's like, okay, let me throw this in your face and show you something. And then that's when the women go, well, why are you trying to say women are useless? That's not the point. The point is that we are useful for that. Men step up and will be useful for that, and you step up and be useful for something else in some other category or value. For example, it'd be like an offensive. It'd be like okay. Let's say you play sports, right, chat? Any sport. But let's talk about football, right? Football, there's different. There's 11 different positions. One of the offensive linemen protect the quarterback. They might spike the ball, they block, etc. They do a lot of things. The quarterback throws the ball. The quarterback may run and make plays, etc. Why would a wide receiver, or why would a quarterback tell the lineman that you're super slow? Like, you can't run as fast as me. You're not supposed to run as fast as me. You're supposed to be stronger than me so you could block those strong ass people trying to tackle me. You know what I'm saying? And then that's like the quarterback saying, well, are you saying I'm not strong enough to block them myself? No, you're not. You don't develop these skills because that's not your role. I develop the skills that make me good at my role and make me good at my position, that benefit the team in the way that it does. So for her to feel weaker or feel less useful as a woman in that context, okay, yes. But then we go into another context, and then we say, okay, oh, well, a man feels useless in that situation, and you feel useful in that situation. Exactly. So it's like, why are you trying to compare your value or usefulness in a situation or circumstance that was not meant for you to be?
This went out tomorrow.
I think that sports analogy was great. Quote me on that one.
Oh, you would need someone to protect you. You
Yes,
would.
of course. In society, not my boyfriend.
I'll go underground.
Like, half of my exes
Right.
can't even do anything.
That's actually another problem. A lot of men can't do much.
Do you know what I mean?
Not everybody's
in this day
strong.
in this day and age, guys can't even
Listen,
fit a tire.
you cannot.
Said not every man is strong. Who they talking about, chat? They ain't talking about me. Call Ty for the job.
I can't
Hang on
come
a
at
minute.
you, my sister.
But I can cook. I can cook. And the thing is, I'm not even.
They talking about y'all, chat. They talking about y'all.
Guys,
They ain't talking about me.
We have to do one at a time.
I did my push-ups this morning.
This is why you can't blame all men for your poor choices. You can't say, I'm talking to both of you because you're saying, yeah, my man can't do this, my man can't do that. What? And you want to settle down. Why would you go and choose a man that can't do these things that you wanted them to do?
Because he's handsome, he has money, because he got good dick, they may say. Come on now. Am I about to predict this?
could do all the blue jobs.
I need a man.
Because
that
most
is
men grow up with a
father.
PlayStation instead. Most men grow up.
If you choose him for those different qualities, then you vet him differently. Then you test him for different things and different reasons.
with a PlayStation
It's the men
and
that you're
porn and
choosing.
things.
Yeah, it's
No,
not.
that's the
It's
truth.
not. It's
Speak
not.
Speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself.
That's the man you
Listen,
pick.
I tell you what,
Sorry, I don't need a mechanic
The
as my
same.
boyfriend.
You know what?
I need a father to my children. I don't need.
Do you know something, right? She needs a
police
father. Hang on a minute.
officer.
She needs a father for her children, right? So
Yeah.
she's gonna go out there, right? And you're gonna buy your child an electric car. You're gonna go and buy your child a bicycle. Who the hell's gonna put on the bicycle and fix the electric car? Who's gonna do it?
You got YouTube. I know how to do these things. I fixed a Bentley before.
Alright,
Why
Granny's
do you need
missed.
a Bentley?
Granny
You can
missed.
do
She
everything
missed.
yourself. Go and get some sperm donor or something because you obviously don't need a man.
That's the future, I
And
think,
the thing
you
is,
know.
that's the future for who?
No,
That's
like
I think they just completely missed each other's points.
the problem.
society.
Because at the end of the day, right,
What
listen-
year are you living in?
The
What
year that
year
you're
are
supposed
you
to be
living in?
Because
Like,
hang on a
you
minute.
act like
Wait,
we are in the Stone Age.
Let me finish talking. Let me finish talking, right? Now, you got a man, right? And you've been busy all day, right? And you're in your bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. And your man comes in with all of his friends and said, oh, babes, all the friends are here. They're hungry. What you going to do?
Yeah, I'll cook for my man. I'm a traditional woman in that aspect.
Yeah, in what
love
aspect?
to cook
Why
for my
is
man.
it that when people start cooking, they think that cooking is traditional? It's everything. It's not just about cooking.
No, you should be able to feed yourself.
As
as a man, as a man as well.
I cook for my man, so I'm traditional.
I have a question. I have a question. Wait. I have a question. Are you virgin? You're traditional. You're virgin.
Are you a virgin?
I said in that aspect. I'm not gonna comment on me being a virgin or not. But what I'm gonna say is, every human being should be able to cook.
She's a hybrid.
What are the points being discussed right now? I'm gonna tell you something. If this were a debate, if I were judging this from a form of like a formal debate, the points are everywhere. First of all, everybody didn't even get through their statements of what is the main problem for men and what is the main problem for women. As soon as Tate addressed his, the whole rebuttal thing went. Tate addressed his, then Brittany said hers. And I think the girl in the green also said hers. Red sweater said hers. Did the woman in the brown say hers? But once they all addressed, okay, what are the predominant issues for men and women? It all went into being, equal. Then, do women need a man? And then they are accepting, like, I do need a man, but not for the reasons you're trying to say I do. And then I don't know how, Red Shirt is rejecting that. Notice Tate is not really debating this after the whole safety thing. I think he's kind of realized, like, the woman in the brown she's not as delusional as those women get. Or if I have all the money in the world, if I can just pay for everything or do whatever, I'm pretty enough, I don't need a man. And it's like, no, you're just having men who fuck you and just use you for sex. You're not having men that want you to be a quality woman in their life. Or you're not having a man who could be a good father, a good leader, a good influence, or something that provides any type of benefit to your life outside of the materialistic and external values. So, like, this just feels like a weak conversation right now.
Tradition and modernization.
I'm a person that survives. I need to cook to survive.
Can I ask Mr. Tate something, right? Right, I'm going to ask you something.
Sure.
Let's see what direction goes.
Right, because I can't. I don't like bullshit, right?
She rolled up her sleeves. Chat.
There's certain people that I can't.
Right?
I'm going to talk to him because so far he's talking sense.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's
You're
giving
welcome.
pick me.
Right.
No.
Who said pick me?
She about to smack the shit out of her. Couldn't even let her. Why is agreeing with someone pick me? And then disagreeing is you know what that was, chat? That's an ad hominem right there. You know what? You're not agreeing based on the points and perspective that he had. You're agreeing because you're a pick me. You're agreeing because you want to be picked. You just want validation, and you're agreeing to just agree and be accepted. It's like, damn, I can't agree with this person based on what they said and the claims they made and the fact that your claims are weak and I disagree with you. Why do I have to agree with you to be defined as something else? Why do I have to disagree with you to then be disrespected? You cannot just respect the fact that I agree or disagree. Don't catch this.
Listen, who just said pick me?
They want me. Don't look at me.
I said it's pick me. Because we're having a whole conversation. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to Mr. Tate.
Hang on a minute. I've been with my man for 32 years.
Clap for yourself.
32 years. I don't need to clap for myself because I'm happy. I'm not here. And what I was going to ask him, right, is how would you think a woman? Would you think that woman? Would you think that woman? Just calm down. I'm like.
She's nasty, man.
I'm loud. I'm naturally. You don't want to hear me shout. Anyway, Mr. Tate, like I was saying before we got rudely interrupted, right? Now,
she's disrespecting her all the way. She's trying to tell her what to do. She's calling her a pick me. I'm actually, the composure of hers. She's holding it. I'm loud. I talk loud. Why do I have to get lower for you?
Hear me shout. Anyway, Mr. Tate, like I was saying before we got rudely interrupted, right? Now, is this your idea of a woman that you think deserves a man? I'm here, single, but I'm looking. I'm here. I'm like taking, if you want to hook me up, let me know. And I just want anybody, but choose. How does that make you feel? What is that kind of woman that you think deserves a man?
Well, he's a top G. You can't be asking him this question about us mere mortals. We're mere mortals, auntie.
Speak for yourself. I'm no mere mortal.
I'm a mere mortal in his presence.
Because nobody
Come on now. This kind of question.
No, she got up there. can ask him. He is above art.
Auntie, unlike you, we have
Brookies.
options.
Brookies, chat. Brookies.
We have options.
Everybody-
Auntie.
If you have options, then where's your ring?
That is the most
The glaze is crazy, Chad. This is why she a first round draft pick in the NGL, the National Glazing League. The Portland Trail Blazers got to start with her, man. Jesus Christ.
I've not found a man that I want to be with.
Jesus
So
Christ.
I know your reality is you got to beg a man to give you.
Hang on a minute. You said, unlike you, I have options.
We
The
have options.
NGA, National
You're out
Glazing
here looking for a
Association.
man. You're
Jesus
out here
Christ.
saying that you're looking for a
When
man.
did I say I was looking for a man?
Oh my gosh, you was at the advertising when we done the introductions. That's what you said.
I said I was doing
That is what you
interviews.
said.
I didn't say I was going out looking for a man. I said I'm doing it.
Hang on a minute.
You come to me. I'm not deciding if I
Yo.
Mr. Tate, listen to this insult, right? Listen to the outro.
I'm not insulting you.
Hang on, listen. All right,
I'm
then
not
what do you call
insulting
it?
you.
Sign language. What?
She is like, oh my God.
Learning.
Her
Sign
playbook is manipulating 101. First off, I'm not even going to make it about what you're saying. I'm going to name call you and disrespect you. And then when I disrespect you and you react to the disrespect that I gave to you, I'm going to comment on the way you're reacting to my disrespect. Gaslighting 101. Oh my, it's giving pick me. And then she steps up and says, well, who said that? Well, I said it was giving pick me because blah, blah, blah. So you're allowed to justify your points. So now I speak up. Then you go, why are you yelling? So fuck what I'm saying. Let's pay attention to the volume I'm saying it at. Then we get to this. I didn't say that. Well, I said it, but what I really meant was this. And then now she's getting at this. Do y'all notice this? Manipulation 101.
You're out here saying that you're looking for a
When
man.
did I say I was looking for a man?
Oh,
When did I say that?
oh my gosh, you was at the advertising when we done the introductions. That's what you said.
Oh, when we were doing interviews. Well, I said then quickly goes to like move the goalposts and try to change what she said.
That is what you said.
I didn't say I was going out looking for a man. I said I'm doing it.
Hang on a minute.
You come to me. I'm gonna decide if I want you.
Mr. Tate, listen to this insult, right? Listen to the outro.
I'm not insulting you.
Hang on.
I'm not insulting you. If a person feels insulted, this is people talk about what's more important, the intention or the impact. The impact. Nobody gives a fuck what you intended to do. Oh, I didn't mean it. Well, here's how it was taken. So if she says you insulted me, then you fucking insulted her. How you feel does not change. Like, come on, man.
Listen,
I'm
then
not
what do you call it?
insulting you.
Sign language. What I'm
on, man.
learning. Sign language. Right? Listen to what she just said to me. Unlike you, I have options. Fucking 32 years. You think I want options? I'm happy with my
It's
man.
giving you don't really
I'm
have
happy
much
with my
options though, because the way you're like,
it's not pick me.
It's really giving you don't have much options. Now I'm gonna let her go on her tangent before I say anything.
Auntie,
Oh,
she meant clout. Wait. She meant
chosen so bad.
Esther. I'm sure you didn't mean pick me. You meant clout chaser. Is that what it is?
It doesn't
We
matter.
could go with that too.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to clarify your problem. I was just saying.
Because you lot have totally lost it. Why would I want to have options when I've been in a happy relationship for 32
No,
years?
clout chasers is fans.
It don't make no sense.
I just
You can monetize on YouTube with clout.
Why are you calling her a pick me when you were the one advertising at the beginning of the show?
I said I'm doing interviews. I wasn't advertising nothing.
Okay.
It's banter.
Wait.
Do you guys understand what an interview means?
Okay.
What you-
All right, all
what you
right.
into-
She's being
So-
spicy, guys. Stop
so,
it.
Auntie had a question for Andrew.
Oh yeah.
What was your question?
Oh, she asked already.
He didn't answer because everybody's too busy
Don't
jumping.
ask your question.
Everybody's too busy jumping in. I already asked, but you're not too busy jumping in and being women.
He's
to be
patient.
listening. So
He's
now
ready to get
now we
married.
can all shut up and let him answer, innit?
I'll answer. Yeah. So to go back to what
42 minutes in, we haven't heard Brittany Renner do anything but introduce herself.
my earlier points. Firstly, to make it clear in the disagreement, I
just,
agree with.
like,
of
point
course,
that out
everyone knows who I
right
agree
now.
with. But I do because
just point that out right now. She hasn't done anything except introduce herself and answer the first question, which was, what is the main problem affecting men and women? Men, and then what is the main problem affecting women?
What it is, though, you know what's actually funny? The things that she's saying are common knowledge 20, 30 years ago. This is how the world functioned. This is how the whole world functioned. The things I say that somehow people believe are controversial are exactly the way the world functioned in like the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. all of the entire period of human history, men had a role of masculinity, women had a role of femininity. We worked as a team. Now the world's come along and they've destroyed and broken everything. And there's this new progressive think and this new generation of women who seem to believe.
Low battery? No. I think she's just absorbing. But y'all gotta peep this though. She came in immediately and was like, hopefully looking to learn something today. That shows the respect she has for Tate. That she came in here with the mindset of, I want to listen, I want to learn, I want to understand. She didn't come here to fight. Y'all peep that? So I ain't even trying to say it's a bad thing that she hasn't said anything. I think she's just like, that just shows her respect for him. She really trying to catch that. Until, let's be honest, she's been rolling her eyes. Well, I'm not talking about the comments where, you know, things have offended her or she has taken it wrongly. Whether she's rolled her eyes or not, she's continued to listen.
That if we completely fuck it all up, it's going to end up better. And my argument to that is, listen, we went from walking around in fields in small nomadic groups to building cities, to building the pyramids, to going to the moon. We managed to go from a few thousand to billions of people, populate the entire planet, build canals, build skyscrapers, cities. All of this was done based on the back of man being a man, woman being a woman, working together as a family.
And now it's destroyed.
Now they're going to come along and fuck it up.
If it's not broke, don't
It's
fix
destroyed.
it.
It's been destroyed. Man has destroyed Earth. What are you talking about? It's been bad decisions from powerful men that got men to go to wars.
Greedy men.
And from women to lose husbands.
Men built.
Men make decisions for war.
Listen, please.
Men kill men.
Please listen to me. Men built the earth. I'm not saying men are perfect, but the entire world that you're existing under was built by men.
Yeah, it's
all
true.
of it. So, and the point I'm making is now we're entering a world of new think. And that the problem with new think is it's not tested. I don't give a shit what anyone's opinion is. What I can state as a matter of fact is we had 5,000 years of history that tells us how the world works with X and Y together. We're now entering a new paradigm. There's no 5,000 years of history. So whatever you believe about how it's going to work or it's going to be better or worse, whatever, that's just you guessing. Everyone is guessing, right? So we're entering a brand new paradigm and everything's completely fucked up. The point you were making earlier, which is a fantastic one about if I pick a woman who's advertising, et cetera, men always, please keep this in mind, especially if you're a female. People always say, you know, the number of emails I get from girls who say you don't give enough girl game. I'll give you girl game right now. Your man wants status. That's what he wants. You need to find a way to make him look good to the world and to his friends.
So how do you do that?
I'll tell you, one of the ways a man can get status is to get the girl that no one can get. That's a very simple way, right? So
I said not ready to mingle. I did right.
Okay, no, but this is the truth, right? If I date a girl and she's perfect in every way, head to toe, and then
Why she ain't call her a pygmy?
I'd say, I've met this girl. Yeah, she's this, she's this. Oh yeah, I took her for a date. Even if you didn't fuck her, did you fuck her? No, I just went for a date. So you went. The attraction goes from this to zero. Done. And it may not for some men, because some men haven't got choices. But men like me who genuinely have unlimited options, we want complete exclusivity. That's what we're looking for, because that gives status. That's what you're looking for. So you have to be very careful as a female with all of your actions, all of your interactions with your boyfriend or when you're looking for a boyfriend, etc. and say, am I going to make my man look better by doing X or look worse? Simple things. I've had endless arguments about girls' nights out, right? Oh, you're insecure, da-da-da. It's not about insecure. I don't give a fuck if no man talks to you all night long. I don't care if you're going out and you're going to an all-girl club. I don't care. I know that when my boys say, oh, all the girls are going out, and I say, not my girl, she stays home. I look good. That's it. She stays home. She doesn't go out. She doesn't want to go out without me.
Now that's just reasons for believing and agreeing to that point. It wouldn't be mine in my case. You know what I'm saying?
Status. It's not about the night out. It's about the status of being the man in the house. That's what a man wants. He wants respect. He wants to be the man.
Remember what I said in the beginning about the frame and the lens coming behind being and living up to the top G. Not a great man or a great husband or a great father, etc. Those things. This is all contributing towards that positioning.
Of the house, I say she stays home. She stays home. Big G, boom, boom. That's what we want.
Can I ask you something? What does the woman want in your eyes? What do you think? And what's the game you give for the boys?
I'm going to tell you, but before that, I need another Clementine, and I need to give half to our friend here because she just rolled her eyes at me. And I'm perspicacious. I notice everything. She doesn't realize that I'm a ninja. I detect these things. Even when I'm looking directly ahead, I can detect it.
So she has not been talking, but then he just called her out. He addressed the elephant in the room. Let's see what happens.
So I'm going to give her some of my Clementine, and she's going to feel better. So I'm gonna get a clementine. Would you like some clementine, my dear?
I'm sure.
You want some clementine?
I think for me, it's like.
I asked you a question. Would you like
peep this. Do y'all see this right here? Do y'all see this tactic? What would y'all call this, chat? We talk about shit like this. Hey, y'all gotta know what it is. What is this? What was that way of addressing it? Well, how would y'all describe that? No, not Clementine Riz. We don't use the word Riz here. We're more specific. We have fucking big words here. Really huge word. No, not poise. No, not game. It's more specific. No, not submitting. No. It's charm. Charm. She smiled while also being mad at him. The gift of gab. The charm. Charm ain't a big word. I was being sarcastic. Not only did he address her, he didn't address her in an angry way, in a combative way. He addressed her in a way that was sweet and charming, but also let her know, I see what you just did, but I'll give you a piece of my. She couldn't help but smile. She was trying to bite her lip and her tongue so bad at this point, but she couldn't help it. Charmed her. Not charisma. No, charisma is something different. That was specifically charming. Now y'all trying to say other words. Charisma, Jordan. Y'all didn't even think of it. None of y'all said any of these words until I just pointed that out. Come on, man. Y'all ain't quick enough, man. Y'all ain't been doing y'all side quests enough, man. Charm and charisma are different. Charm, charisma, and seduction are three totally different things. If you're new here, I don't expect you to know the differences. But I'm just saying, let's get into it.
I detect these things.
A gift for the boys.
I'm going to tell you, but before that, I need another clementine, and I need to give half to our friend here because she just rolled her eyes at me.
Half
I'm
to our friend here.
I notice everything. She doesn't realize that I'm a ninja. I detect these things. Even when I'm looking directly at her, I can detect it. So I'm going to give her some of my clementine, and she's going to feel better.
Look, her face being straight here, she's trying not to.
So I'm going to get a clementine. Would you like some clementine, my dear?
Sure.
You want some clementine?
I think for me.
Sure.
Like
I asked you a question. Would you like some
I would love some.
You want some clementine?
Yeah.
We're going to hook it up.
Okay.
Clementine's coming.
Cut the whole point off. I asked you a question. Yes or no? What the fuck is sure? I hate when people say sure. So I'm glad he didn't even like no. Yes or no? Yeah.
All right. Go on. Continue.
Cut it out. She's cooked.
I just feel like
she's cooked.
Definitely a different conversation for me because I'm very open-minded. I love hearing different perspective, and I do feel like this is a newer idea. Like you said, within the last 30, 40 years, this is a new concept. We don't know how it's going to end. I just know from like my experience, other women that I've met as well, it's like the reason for even like relationships why they're not lasting is because people don't want to put up with the disrespect. And like even when you were talking about like, oh, it's okay for me to cheat but not for you, my thing is like why not have transparency and have it be polygamous, polyamorous, whatever works for you. That's like to me where it loses me with the traditional stuff.
I get it.
It's like why can't we have transparency? And if I sign up for that, cool.
So how does it no man in a million years, let's all be realistic, right? No man in a million years is gonna meet a girl he likes and go, I want to be polyamorous. Like, come on, that's gay. Let's cut this bullshit. So let's be realistic. How does a man show love to a woman? Tell me.
Exclusivity.
Wrong. That is how
time, resources, and something else.
Time, resources. So that's a good way to start. So sexual exclusivity is how a female shows primarily that she's interested in a man. He's the only man who has sexual access to me because I can get pregnant, and this man is the only man who can do it. That's how it's done.
Even for bro, when a girl really fuck with you, she don't even want like this. How it really gets. When a girl really fuck with you, other men disgust her. Now, not saying the men she interacts with on a day-to-day basis, guys from her classroom, guys at her job. I'm not saying that. Men that try to hit on her, men that try to fuck her, men that try to come at her, disgust her.
A man,
because she is comparing them to you. Like, you ain't my man. Ugh. No, you disgust. Like, they disgust her in the light of any type of intimacy.
I'm not saying all men can cheat. I'm not saying all men should cheat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if I truly love a woman, she won't sit there and go, he shows me his love because he doesn't fuck anyone else. She'll sit there and go, he shows me his love because my bills are paid, I'm in a Bentley, I fly private, I go to Dubai anytime I want, I have a Chanel bag, and I'm not so...
Who the fuck giving a bitch that? God damn!
about just money. I'm talking about resource and a lifestyle.
Who the hell?
This is not just me. This is the world and most of the world today. If you go to Moscow and you find a big G, a rich guy, right? He has his wife. She's pushing a Bentley. She has the kids. She's living in a mansion, whatever. When he goes to the club with his boys, you think he ain't 19-year-old strippers? Of course he fucking is.
Can I ask
but
you?
she's just like, whatever, don't care. I'm the one who has the money. Don't give a shit. So
now this a top G perspective. I think you should just go ask the guy who's been, married for like 20 years, 15, 10 plus years, and is happy with his wife. You should ask that. You know what I'm saying?
you have to sit there, and to a point, you have to sit and analyze.
Is a nigga think we Jay-Z?
The difference when you're saying disrespect. If you're gonna go through life as a woman and say, I only care about the sexual exclusivity of my man, then what you're gonna end up doing is having a bunch of failed relationships and fucking loads of dudes.
To answer that question though, Chad, before I blow up too much, my head gets so big. Chad, tell me if I'm wrong. The way a man shows love to a woman, right, or expresses that love, is not some sort of love letter, or hey, I wrote a song for you, or hey, I'm not fucking any woman. No. To me, as in my opinion of a man, is saying, I got you. That's it. That's the strong. I got you. If you somewhere, you gotta be picked up. I'm gonna pick you up. If you hungry, and whatever, I'm gonna order you some food. If we out on a date, I'm paying for it. If they bother you at work or whatever, come home. I'm gonna deal with that. I'm gonna do something, or we're gonna do something, or whatever. Even if it's slaying the, what I'm saying, whatever, in a way that improves your mood. That's the main way a man shows true, genuine care for him. I got you, whether it be financial, physical, sexual, spiritual, mental. I got you. I'm gonna, over a period of time, you'll be under my, leadership or my program. I got you. Not any woman can just come be in my life. So obviously this is a different standard of a man who tests women, a man who says, okay, I'm gonna cut you off for this reason, or I'm not gonna cut you off for this reason. A man who knows what he wants. So it takes a certain type of man to even express this for him. But that's how a man of quality would express it. I got you. It's that simple. If I don't got you, I don't fuck with you.
To get a point where you go, you know what, this guy ticks.
I'm not gonna die for you. I'm gonna fight for you and save you in a situation where it's life or death. Will I do that for any woman? Fuck no. For my wife, my woman, mother of my children, I got you.
So many boxes. Once a year, twice a year, he's out with his boys, does some dumb shit. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't notice because my bills are paid. I'm looked after. I can tell he cares about me. If I have a problem, he's gonna fix it. He's ticked so many. That's the smart female move, as opposed to go, I don't care how good he is to me. He fucked that bitch once, so I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch anyway, and then I'll get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch. So end the cycle of dumb shit.
Can I
But
more mild examples though.
Wait. I have a question. Is there ever cheating that's too far? Like, so if a guy cheats on a girl, is there ever a point?
Ladies, if your man spend money on her, he's done. He's cooked. If he fuck, alright, you horny, you lied to me, blah blah blah. But if he was paying her for he's spending money on her, he falling asleep on the phone with her, he on a phone call with her for hours, that man hates you. that man hates you. I'm not gonna lie.
Point where she
there's a lot of cheating. There's completely a lot of cheating.
So dropping dick off and giving relationship vibes to a random sneaky link is crazy.
If he knocks up another girl, would you say that's too
all right. So first things first, I'm a man of my word. I don't even think I'm a liar.
He hates you, man.
So here's your Clementine.
Thank you.
And he peeled it. What a gentleman.
I'm a gentleman. Right. So obviously, I'm not saying blatantly disrespect your woman. Right? She's your woman. She's your queen. She's the most important thing in the world to you. She needs to be treated in a way that she feels that. Right? But it's unfortunate because I keep tying back to this baseline point. But the reason I keep going back to this baseline point is to try and explain to everybody at home how simple the world can be if you go back to the baselines of it. Why do men cheat? Most women don't know. You'll see them all the time. Why do men cheat? Oh, because men are just stupid. And why do men fuck girls uglier than their main chick? Why do men do all this stuff? Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Let's go back to the first thing I've been saying this whole time. Status. Yeah, that's my chick. She's home. took this one home. Yeah, I got that one. She's chasing me.
That's
Status. But
if that man is fulfilled by that.
It's stupid to females. I get it. But that's the male world because sexual access is an easy indicator of status. So that's one of the reasons they do it, right? So you have to go back into the baseline of why men even cheat in the first place. I'm telling you, if you're a woman, the smartest thing you can do is look after your man, make him not want to cheat, be perfect. But there's going to be a time across a 20-year marriage you might just need to be a little bit blind.
Big cap. If you are with a man you can trust, and the man that doesn't want to go outside of the relationship, and a man who respects exclusivity. I will agree that I feel like most men do not want to be monogamous. Deep down inside, I feel like they don't. I'm gonna just go ahead and stand on that. But here's the point I'm gonna make. Here's the point I'm gonna make about this. Like I said, if a man is fulfilled by that, then that's how he's gonna live. I feel like the average man who cheats. Let's be honest, Chat. I feel like the average man who cheats just because he can. It's some real shit. Like, most men who cheat is not like, oh, my wife, my woman, she just didn't fill my life. Yeah, most men just fuck bitches because they can. Like, it's nothing deep. It's not I hate you. It's not just like it's just because they can. The pussy is just there. Now, if he is not sexually disciplined, or if he, again, this is the big point I make about cheating. If he is lying to you or misleading or like selling dreams, that's the problem. But if I sit here and tell you as a man, like, yo, I'm not exclusive to you, but you got to be exclusive to me, and you say as a woman, fuck no, I'm not standing for that, and you leave me, so be it. If you choose to stay with me, so be it. Most men try to beat her to her next move and say, well, I'm gonna lie to her because I know she's going to leave me if I tell her the truth. And that's just what it is.
A little bit. Just a tiny bit. Just don't look at his phone. And you'll be cool. You'll be cool. Just make sure the bills are paid. He does his job as the man.
What if you can pay your own bills, though?
But this is it. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm not saying allow this for some fucking Joe Schmo. I'm not saying let some fucking loser pick you up, lock you down, and go cheat on you.
Right.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if he's a G and he's doing enough of his other jobs. As for you saying, what if you can pay your own bills? Then what's the reality you face? Just like I described earlier, I'm going to decide that the thing that I prioritize above everything, above his resource, above the amount he cares for me. You'll see men cheat on a woman and then cry his eyes out trying to get that woman back. He still loves you. It's not the same as if you cheated. He loves you with all his heart. He'd die for you. He'd take a bullet for you, and he'd still fuck that bitch. Doesn't matter. It's a different game for men, right? So you're sitting here going, well, I'm going to prioritize his sexual exclusivity over all of his other attributes. You're just going to end up having endless failed relationships, fucking too many dudes, and then what's going to happen is your psychology is going to break, because females don't like to accept the fact that if you sleep with enough men and you get rid of the stigma around a new dick, your instant answer is constantly new dick. He didn't text me today, fuck it, someone else. He was rude to me, fuck it, I'll cheat.
I think a lot of women need to pay attention to this one. The solution to all your problems just becomes sex and more sex. Oh, I'm feel sad, let me have some sex. Oh, I'm mad, let me have some sex. Oh, he cheated on me, let me have some sex. Oh, I had a bad day, let me have some sex. Oh, fucking, I'm hungry, let me have some sex for some food. Oh, I don't fucking know. But you name it. Like, everything just becomes about sex.
He was this, I was getting a new boyfriend. And then you end up just jumping on cock all day, and you're fucking done. You need to, the reality is there has to come a point where
I'm bored, let me have some sex.
You get a guy and he ticks the boxes and you're like, you know what, I'm wifey, I got the Bentley, he does whatever he does, but my bills are paid. That's it.
Same with drugs and alcohol too, which is why a sex addiction can be just as powerful as a drug addiction or any type of addiction. Addiction is an addiction no matter what you put in front of it.
Fair enough.
When would you say it's too far? I'm just curious if there's a line that you would, like, if he spends money on another girl, if he, like,
you really trying to think about this
that's
answer.
a good question.
Another second question, do you think that men ever fall in love with side chicks?
Very good question. And this is a long and in-depth answer, but it's a good question. Let me peel my clementine. But it's a good question. Where is too far? I think publicly disrespecting is too far. So, like, you'll notice, let's take the Moscow G, all right? Let's take an oligarch, a billionaire from Moscow. He has his wife. He has the girls he's in the club with. The girls he's in the club with wouldn't fucking dare message his wife. They wouldn't dare step out of line. Like, they know their place, right? So if there's a hierarchy and they know their place, that's one way of doing it. Spending money on a girl, certainly, yeah, because men show love primarily through our hard work. Not just through our resource, but through our hard work. If you take a man who's not particularly rich, he shows his wife love by getting up every day, going to work 9 to 5, working his ass off and paying those bills. That's how he shows love. That's why he does it for his wife and his children. Most men are out here working bullshit jobs, carrying trash. They're doing that to show love. So giving money, yeah, that would be a far more scary indicator than just sex. Let me give you all an example. I don't know if you all know my history, but I used to run a webcam business a long time ago. Don't want to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. But I had a bunch of girls who used to sit online and talk to guys, and they had laptops, right? This is a long time ago. And I used to sit and say to some of the webcam girls, I'd say, this man who is sitting in and logging in every night and sending you money every day and telling you he's obsessed with you from the other side of the world and missing out on time with his family to sit here and talk to you and send you money. That is more cheating than if he just went out and banged something. If he went out and banged something and came home, then done. But he's sitting here giving you his time, his money, his affection. That's cheating for a man. For a man to sit there and give money and time away, right? So you have to stop this idea of sexual exclusivity. Yes, that's for females. That's how females show their love to men. It's not how high status, at least, males show their love to females. And anyone who wants to disagree with me, call me wrong, call me misogynist, whatever bullshit, look at a history book. Every king, every sultan, every conqueror, every emperor, every knight, all of them had maidens, wives, all of them. That's history.
What level of G do you have to be allowed to cheat?
Well, it's not about even being allowed to cheat. I'm not even saying that. And it also depends on the partner you're with. I'm not trying to sit here and advocate for men to run around and fuck a bunch of women. I'm not saying that.
That's what you're doing.
No, but I'm not.
No. Let him explain. Let him land. It's about to come. Now, one sister, let him land.
No, but I'm not. What I'm actually trying to do is describe the baseline unfortunate realities of human dynamics. And I'm trying to explain now to the world that any woman can get a man who will not cheat on her if she's prepared to sacrifice a bunch of other things, perhaps, right? In the olden days, it was different.
And he won't cheat on her because he probably can't.
World was a different place. It was a completely different place, and it was better.
Can't cheat on her even if he tried.
It's fucked up on every level. And men, especially the high status men, most of them have struggled so hard to become high status. They've been through so much shit to get where they are. It's like telling him, if you climb this mountain, you can go to a candy store. And he climbs to the top of the mountain, and the second he's in the candy store, after one piece of candy, that bitch is saying, no more candy. He's like, no.
And he a sucker if he let her, and he a sucker if he feels as though he needs to lie to her to keep her. And that's another thing, too. A lot of dudes get into a position where they have all the leverage and all the power, and they fumble it so fucking bad over the woman liking them, the woman staying with them, or some bullshit like that. I seen a tweet about some I don't even remember the guy's name, but the woman was Cindy Kimberly, I think, and someone posted it was like, oh, he's so lucky to have her. What? Why? Because she's pretty? like, but guess what? That's the whole logic of this out of your league bullshit that people say. Oh, she's out of your league. What league? What league are we talking? League of Legends? The fucking the National Football League? What are we talking about? What league? What is this league bullshit? We in the same city and going to the same school, working at the same job, going to the same grocery store. What are we talking about? Leagues? Because of her last dude? Her last dude better have been fucking little baby Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates for her to say she's out of my league. And then even then, that does not make her. I think what the fuck is this league bullshit? Right? Then that whole jargon, that whole conversation is just positioning you as a man to sit here and feel graceful to be in her presence. Why? I bet you there's no other quality and factor outside of her being pretty. If her being pretty makes her out of my league, I ain't playing in that league. That is the minuscule value that a woman can provide to me as a man. Just be pretty. That's it. That ain't shit to me. It's a million pretty bitches. What the? She's out of my league because she's pretty? Oh my God, be fucking for real.
I just climbed this mountain. I just got rich. I just went through X, Y, Z.
I don't know how I went on that tangent, but I'm gonna just have to say that. Like,
now you're telling me I can
out
have
of my
one piece
league.
of candy?
Okay.
What man's gonna
Do you think that men owe a woman loyalty if she was there from the beginning?
Absolutely. They absolutely owe that woman loyalty.
Oh, sorry, sexual loyalty. That's what I meant.
Sexual exclusivity is different. Sexual exclusivity and loyalty are completely disconnected for males. Nobody wants to talk about this, but it's the unfortunate reality. It's true. I'm telling you, you can get a man, he can go on a holiday, can fuck some stripper, can come home, and you can lie detector test him. Do you love your wife? Would you die for your wife? Would you take a bullet for your wife? He'll pass the lie detector test. He loves her with all his heart. He'd do anything for her. It's just pussy. It's not a big deal. It's different.
I feel like, I guess my question would be then is like, how do you view sex? Because I like, sex at the end of the day is spiritual unification. I feel like I've gone through a lot of different stuff.
The unification between the masculine and the feminine.
I've had a lot of different experiences where I did not value myself, so I never had a man that valued me. So it's like, yeah, you rack up guys and guys you shouldn't be texting back or whatever. But I feel like I understand that there is a difference with how men view sex and how they move around in the world. But it's like, sex is a sacred thing, no matter a male or female is doing it. So that's why for me, like,
this is what you got to think about. What are you exchanging? If you are low self-esteem and you only view sex as a means of validation, of the means to get a quick fix, and that guy is also full of lust, no self-control, pussy is everything to him. You're exchanging like this weak form of fulfillment for each other. You feel better temporarily, and he feels like the man because he just got some pussy. Y'all exchanging low vibration, low self-esteem, fucking low sense of self, lack of fulfillment, purposeless actions and entertainment. That's what y'all are exchanging.
My biggest, like, the hardest for me to understand.
Unified sex demons.
Is like, this is such a sacred thing, and it's like taking a piss for a guy.
Can I just say something? You sure you weren't making love to somebody that was having sex?
I'm sorry?
You sure that you weren't making love to somebody that was just having sex?
Hey, see, that's
have I
in there.
No, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like as women, they make love
She just hit her with that.
to men that are just having sex.
Right.
But this is the thing, though. She hit her with something, but even, let's say, look at her as an example. I'm just fucking around and doing what I want. She's not making love. She's trying to feel love. He's just trying to feel good. He's just trying to get some pussy. A mismatch, and again, this is where sex gets deeper, because there is intention behind sex. So people that almost seem retention, I'm on celibacy. You're trying to convince yourself that you're not insecure. You're trying to convince yourself that you have some sort of self-control and sort of like relationship with yourself. No, you're not integrating the fact that, again, as human beings, we need two things in order to survive and continue. We need to eat, and we need to procreate, and we need to reproduce, which is why we get hungry and we get horny. So when you neglect that and say, "Oh, I don't need that," you're trying to lie to yourself to get over that lack of self-control. You need to thoroughly integrate that into a part of who you are. And then when we come into this conversation, a lot of people don't even realize, well, I'm not integrating it, but it's completely controlling you. And again, this like I said earlier, conditional confidence. I'm only confident depending on the fact that if I have on makeup or if my body looks good. Or if a man, I'm only confident depending on if I got some money or if I have fucking big muscles. This is not true security and sense of self. And this all trickles down to, guess what, sex? Because then again, what is the intention behind it? I'm trying to rack up these bodies in this pussy to feel better and feel more of a man? Or am I trying to take this woman to a higher... Am I trying to let her reach these orgasms, let her reach these climax? Am I just trying to get a nut off? Am I just trying to have a kid? You know what I'm saying? What is the intention behind it? Is it just a quick fix for me? Or is this something deeper? Am I going to look her in her eyes while I'm fucking her? Or am I going to dominate her? Am I going to lay it down on her? I know me personally, I making love, okay, cool, here and there. No, I'm slutting you out. That's just me. I ain't come here with all that, you know what I'm saying? But what is your intention behind it? And what can you do and drive behind that action? It's so much more behind these things that we just use willy-nilly every day. And sex is one of them.
That's the difference.
That's not
real deep.
But my thing is...
Real deep.
Okay, I think when men hear that, though, it's like if it was sacred to you, you would have waited till you were married.
But it's like, right, no, I get that, but...
She fucked her with that one.
But my thing is... Okay,
I think when men hear that, though, it's like if it was sacred to you, you would have waited till you were married.
But it's like, Right. No, I get that. But the reality is like the world is not so black and white. So I understand that there are these things in place that worked and made sense. And now we're approaching an era that like we don't know what's going to happen. But there's gray area. You've had sex. I've had sex. She's had sex. We've had sex with different guys. That doesn't mean that we're damaged goods. We're used goods. I understand status is a big part of that. I understand that sex is viewed differently. But I feel like you should not. If you're looking at face value, I can understand why you would be judged from your past. But if I'm a guy interested in you, I don't care about what you've done.
But that's the thing. Like men do though. That's the thing. Like a virgin's more valuable to a man than a girl that's had sex with multiple men. Like it just is what it is.
There's a limit.
But the modern man's solution is not.
I mean, shit. You'll meet some men who be like, man, I need her to go through her whole phases. One of my homies said that he's like, yo man, I need a bitch that went through her whole phase already. Shit, go find you a nigga. Go find you a man that wants you with your body count. You know what I'm saying? If you with one that don't want you with that, go get your man that's just accept you for who you are. You know what I mean?
Man needs a
do what you gotta do.
That's actually smart and can survive in the world of today. And that's going to be a lived woman.
The men with the most choice are going to pick.
I personally don't care about whether a virgin or not. I don't.
The ones that are already self-made, I guess so. But that's the thing. The reality is that there's a lot of men out there, especially in the world that we live in today, that need a partner. So it's time for those masses of men to start respecting women for the role they can play in their lives.
I don't think average men expect women to be virgins.
Do you know what it is?
But it's this rhetoric that actually then is pumped into these minds and creates what people are now complaining about.
Right, I like my woman seasoned.
No, you know
that's what it is. Even in schools, it's
I like my woman seasoned. Yeah, have some experience.
Men to prefer women that are.
It's not that. It's not. That's not the problem. The problem is now. Listen, the maths is very simple. You've got people like Andrew Tate talking about these things with such clarity, and it makes so much sense because it is true, right? And then you have men that are in these situations where just average, working an average job, and they cannot fulfill whatever definition is called to be a man in these
Yes, they can, and that's what he said. He did say that. Yes, they can. A 9 to 5 man can do it.
But then again, wait. This is the thing. What we're talking about as a man, and this is why I say it's very important for us to understand the person that we're speaking to. And I'm very glad that you clarified everything that you mean. Not every man is like Andrew Tate. Not every man is going to be able to even realistically demand for certain things from a woman.
It's just Jay sitting there looking like
every man is going to be able to even realistically demand for certain things from a woman. So the same way women need to compromise if it comes to a man who is going to cheat on her because he's a top G, is the same way men are going to have to compromise and stop blabbing about purity when they can't demand for that.
Right. You didn't get none of what you didn't get none of what
I made my point. That was the whole point.
What point? Well, duh. What? Because you just quoted him. You just said about his thing, and you didn't.
No, only did I get clout. I made my point. I said the average man does not have what it takes to demand for a virgin.
He already said that.
And I reiterated in my own words for my own content for my page. And
so what? Do you know what it is, right? Is that too many women, they see regular guys and they feel they're settling. You're not settling. You're getting what you deserve.
But you can't be asking.
You're not settling.
You're not settling. But the difference is men know this. Like most average men aren't demanding.
The average men never said they were
virgin. But the difference is the difference. Wait. The difference is average men know they don't deserve a 10. They know they don't deserve an 8. They know they don't even deserve a 7.
And they still go messaging them on the stories and all this dumb stuff that's just ugly.
Like most men in history haven't even reproduced. And so it's like men know, but the women are the ones that are delusional.
There's regular men out there. There's regular men out there.
Chris Hemsworth. There's
regular men out there that will have you down.
Yeah, but can I just say, people are watching Tate, not understanding that Tate is part of that 1% of success women, and they think that they can demand the same thing. They can demand purity.
One second. Sorry. I understand the point you're all making, but let's understand something. To the sexual marketplace, females have always been, and still to a degree, are the gatekeepers. You can think about it in a very simplistic way. This is not the case, but let's simplify it for the sake of argument. Imagine men will run around and fuck anything, and women are the ones who say yes or no. You are the gatekeepers that have all the power. And this is what's actually truly interesting about the sexual marketplace, because whenever women go, there's not enough good men, then why are you fucking, of course, why would they be good if you don't make them be good? You're a fucking loser.
That's a good point.
So women. So you're talking about. I'm saying that a man at a certain level can't do certain things.
Crazy. How Lizzo catch a stray?
Schmo, and he wasn't treating you the way you believe Joe Schmo should treat you, then why are you with him?
Leave. sis.
Like women have the gatekeeping. So if you get Joe Schmo and he treats you like you're his queen and treats you perfect, good. If you get a fucking guy at the absolute upper echelons of value and you still aren't happy with what he's giving you, then leave. Women are the gatekeepers. You women actually have all of the power. This is what's beautiful about the whole thing. Yeah. Women are constantly complaining. You have all the power. You're the ones who get to choose. Do you know who you should be mad at for all this shit? I'll tell you who you should be mad at. Do you know who threw away all the female power in the sexual marketplace? Promiscuous females. Because now you got chicks who will bang anybody without trying. So why should a dude get up and try?
No,
do you have any idea how hard it is to actually be, let me make this clear.
Go on, sir.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to actually be, no bullshit, a man? And I say this and women go, oh yeah, dude, as soon as most women encounter any kind of problem, the first thing they do is turn to a man. Their man, their dad, the mechanic, the police, a man. If you actually put a woman in front of a problem and go, no men, they're like, oh, whoa, fuck. It's a mental breakdown. Men, day after day, especially if you're a high-level man, let me make it something clear from my life. I'll talk from personal experience. I'm not just looking after me. I'm not just looking after my chick. I'm the guy in about 300 people's phone books that they call when anything big goes wrong. You get arrested in Russia, you need extraction from Ukraine, you need $1 million, whatever it is, Kazakhstan, abduction, they call me. I'm the first phone call. I'm fixing 400 different lives. I'm a problem solver. Chicks can't fix fucking any of this shit, right? This is how hard it is to be a man. And it's amazing because society expects it of you, but so do women. If you had a man, be honest, you had a man and you went to your man and said, oh, I've got this problem, I can't fix this, it's broken, the car tire's broken. And he went, I don't know. You would...
To summarize this up and to get into this part, it's like how nowadays y'all see women call so many men sassy, but then on the other end of the spectrum, it's like, didn't y'all complain that men weren't, like, emotional enough? Or, open up, it's okay, men can cry, and then men start to adopt less masculine qualities, characteristics. Now, I'm not saying that both come at the same time or both extremes match with each other. I'm just saying, like, they really don't know what they're asking for when they open that door. They really don't know what they invite in when they open that door.
Dry up, like you'd be like, well, fucking what the fuck?
Here's what you expect of a man, and then when you ask something of a man that's different than that expectation, he starts acting different. That's what comes with it.
Point of you. That's the truth. You could sit here and go, oh, we'd call a mechanic. No, you wouldn't. You'd look at your man and go, what do you mean you can't fix it?
I'll do it myself,
and this is what she's saying about your man will get up and go, and you know what's beautiful about masculinity? A bunch of times a man will go up and he doesn't have a clue how to fix it himself. Mm-hmm. But he'll go, don't worry, baby, okay. And he'll stand up with no money and no clue. And he'll go out there and fucking try and find a way, because as a man, you need to be useful. It is so difficult to be a man. You have no idea the amount of pressure that we're under from society and from the women we even want to associate with. On a whole, it's difficult. So you have to keep all these things in mind. It's hard.
But can I ask you a question? You see what you just said about, the top G, that if they had money, you can fly planes and fly that. Drop it down to if you were earning, like, say, $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
Couldn't you be that same person amongst your peers?
100% you
That's
could.
what I'm trying to say.
100% you could. And also you have to...
money doesn't make you a top G.
No, money is an amplifier. So that's the first thing about money. Money amplifies. Men can make money. Money does not make men. If you're a dork and you get rich, you're a rich dork. If you're a G and you get rich, you're a top G. Right? So that's the first thing about money. And I agree with you. But traditionally... And this is the baseline. And once again, when I say these things, I'm not looking to be attacked for being misogynist. I'm just commenting on how I view the world and how I see things. Traditionally, a man primarily gives his attention to a female to get sex, and she gives him sex back to get the attention. That's the swap, right? So if I'm a dude and I want sex from a girl, I give her attention, I talk to her, I hang out with her, I spend time with her, eventually I get the sex. That's how it works. But the higher value you are as a man, the more valuable your attention is, the more valuable your time is, the less you have to give. It's like potency, right? So I can give 5 minutes to a chick, and that's worth 2 weeks of some other dude's time. But that's the reality. So where you are on the scale is just basically how much of your time you have to give. Now, you can still give all your time to a woman, treat her like a queen, be respected by your peers. She can be happy with you. I'm not saying she will be in fact, I'll argue she'll be happier with that man than she'll be with a fucking guy like me. I'm not even out here saying I'll make chicks happy. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying...
The matching pajamas on Christmas, the fucking All types of shit we can talk about.
She'll get the amount of time that she's going to want from that man. The amount of attention is linked to his status. But at a true high-level status of man, it's 2 DMs. Boom, boom. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds, done.
This kind of leads into my next question.
All right, guys, let's take a second to hear from our channel.
Uh-oh. Chat. We about 2 hours of reaction. And we said we was going to do half of the video, hour 30, then an hour and 30. Y'all want to continue for another 30? Keep going 30 minutes? All right, bucket. All right, bet.
Do women prefer to be monogamous with a low-value man or share a high-value man?
Well, look at society and you tell me.
Monogamous.
Ask me.
Wait, so let's ask the single ladies. What would you prefer?
I would prefer someone who's monogamous. I left a situation where I got the Bentley, I had all that, I had the kids, I had that. That was great. I want a companion. I want real love. And to me, what monogamy means to me is someone who's committed to themselves. That's like, the answer is within you. And to be honest, I feel like, again, like the sex has been lost in translation and what it means. I don't care man or female. It's been lost as it's so sacred. So for me, I have kind of taken those blinders off where I'm like, okay, he has to be here. I'm okay with dating the trainer in Austin, Texas. That's just where I'm at. Like, I don't need a certain thing because I know what I'm wanting. Most guys in that percentage are not going to give me. So I would rather have a monogamous man than someone who can do whatever.
So you think the personal trainer is going to be monogamous? They're like known for cheating, no?
Well, I mean, here's my thing. Like, I get it. Like, I don't generalize people because I'm one of the most misunderstood people online as well. And I feel like there's a lot more to me, and I don't like to just put everyone in a box. I'd like to get to know people. So no, I'm not going to just say, oh, well, of course he's going to cheat on me. Like, no.
Okay.
Her point being that she just wants monogamy, regardless of what status of life that guy's at. Here's the thing, though. This is like, obviously they're just trying to apply the general standards here, but you don't have to be loyal if you're broke, and you don't have to be exercising your options if you have those options. The bottom line is, if you agree to your partner to be a monogamous, stand on your word. And if you are going to still open and keep your other options, and you tell that to your woman, stand on your word and let her choose if she's going to stay or she's not going to stay, whatever it is.
Would you take
you could have the option to get any bitch you want and still say, you know what, I only want her and I'm going to stay with her. I'm going to stay within this. I want to get married. I want to just be with her. You could do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying?
$35,000.
There's a lot of dudes that ain't got no money, no status, no clout, none of that. And they fuck a lot of bitches.
You're had a dad bod?
Had a dad bod?
Yeah, dad bod.
I feel like for me, I would want someone who...
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
I pour into myself, and I'm accountable for my shit. I'm aware of what I got going on. I'm not gonna have a mom bod. I'm in the gym. I had a baby a year and a half ago. I'm in the gym 4 to 5 times a week. So I would want someone who can match at least the work ethic. Now, when it comes to money, I know for me, I want to be able to, I do not want to rely on a man. I have literally done that before. It didn't pan out in my favor, okay? Because what happens is you get the rug ripped from under you, and then now you fucking get out, bitch, give me the motherfucking keys. It isn't that. So for me, the lifestyle I want, I am responsible for. So I don't look for a man to make X amount of dollars because anything that I want, I'm gonna get myself.
Well, because in my head, I feel like a guy's just as likely to cheat if he's in the top 20% of like looks. Just as likely as money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't.
Let me ask a quick question just so I can clarify something, because I understand your points. You're saying you want a partner, a life partner. Are you sure? And I'm not accusing. I'm genuinely asking. Are you sure you're not confusing the amount of time the man spends with you with his monogamy? Because they're different things. Because what happens a lot of the time, if a man's out here chasing chicks, he's barely home. But imagine you had a man who was home 7 nights a week. He was always home. I'm talking about like an hour, like during his work lunch, you don't even notice. Then would you even give a shit about monogamy if you had all of his time effectively? Would you really care?
I still would care because I feel like it's still just an hour a day and it's not really quality time. I feel I really have been in so many different situations. Again, the trainer in Austin to the NBA player baby daddy. Like I have seen all of that stuff. And it's just my personal experience and perspective to where I want someone that sees the value in the Grand Canyon. I want somebody who...
I understand. Okay, so that's a good point. And so I'll just ask the first question. I'm going to ask the second question. the realization you've come to is an interesting one. It is something that happens, especially to females as they mature. Don't you think it's strange, or why do you think that 0 women on earth choose those kind of men who they perhaps have slightly lower status but are more likely to be loyal to them, be monogamous, etc. in the modern world? Because like I said, the world's changed. Why do you think 0 women choose them when they're at the peak of their choices? So when a woman is 19 and she can go anywhere she wants, every man wants her, she can go on any yacht in Miami, she can get flown out to Dubai, when she has all the choices in the world, why is she completely uninterested in those kind of men? And then when she gets to a certain age of maturity and there's a whole new generation of girls who have all the choices, then they sit there and go, you know what? I deserve monogamy and and they all of a sudden want to grow up and mature. Why does no woman decide that when she actually is at her most valuable?
I feel like like I said, I don't like to speak for all women. I just speak for myself. But I know for me that I was looking for a man for a lifestyle, something that I was not able to do individually by myself. So that's why it's like, well, yeah, I want to be able to do this, do that. I want to go for the football player that was just on GQ. And in reality, now I realize, well, okay, there's a lot that comes with that. I can make my own money. I don't necessarily need that type of guy for the happiness that I'm looking for. Again, seeing value in the Grand Canyon is a lot different than like, okay, here's money for this, here's allowance for that.
And here's an hour of my time. As you asking why a man that is 20, 21, 23 is not a top G like a 30, 40-year-old man. No, the point, your age actually dictates your sort of maturity to a large extent.
Well, I'm arguing the point. The point I'm trying to make is that what I actually think happens, especially in the modern world, because the modern world's all fucked up and nothing's the way it's supposed to be, the traditional life path of a female is she's 17, she's 18, she's 19, and her value is massively inflated. And I don't blame her. Of course it's massively inflated. Imagine being 19 years old, have achieved exactly fucking 0 in your life, knowing nothing. You put makeup on, and sports stars, billionaires, actors, the most important famous people on the planet, the richest men on the planet are begging for your attention. The ego you're going to develop, let's all be honest, right? The ego you're going to develop is going to be monu-fucking-mental. I'm special, I'm so gorgeous, all this bullshit, right? And then what happens as they grow older, as new generations come along, because the truth is most women are at their peak attraction, let's say in their early 20s. As they grow older, what women become is far more fearful of competition. This is why you'll see a woman who's a bit older go, oh, I really want monogamy. What she's scared of is her dude getting a 21-year-old. That's what she's fucking scared of. She may not know it, she may not say it, but basically that's what the truth is, because she knows a 21-year-old is going to be more desirable, higher status, more fertile. That's what she's scared of.
Cheating is bad when you're 30 or 20, sir.
So no, but it's not about that. I'm telling you the shift in the female mentality, because when a female is 20, she doesn't give a fuck about any of this. She doesn't want to find a nice man. Now she's trying to, like you're saying, chasing a lifestyle, chasing Mr. Promiscuous, chasing Mr. Famous. Doesn't give a shit until she starts getting scared. Oh shit. Oh, my age begins with 3 now. And then they change, their mentality changes. It's a fear element. That's the reality. And it's a biological fear element. I'll give you an example of it. You know what's amazing about humans? We are still very primal. When men like these two and me, when we walk through the mall, people just move. It's like you can sense when the big animals turn up, right? It's something amazing about humans. If you have a very attractive 45-year-old woman, she's gorgeous, but a gorgeous 19-year-old walks in, look at that 45-year-old woman's face. She's furious. She fucking hates her. She just doesn't like her for no reason. Yeah. Because women understand, unfortunately, but you're
said that nigga lets her on that yacht, and on top of that, values her for her looks. You know what I'm saying? Instead of her utility, around what she can do for me. So, you know, but a lot of niggas get on and they get money and all that shit, they get popping and they just, you know, they just want the bitches around them to be bad. You know what I'm saying? Nothing with really any purpose. You know what I'm saying? Purse first, ass last. Nothing like that. You know what I mean? So
now you're telling
this I think this comment and this rhetoric, this critique is on the mindset that gets developed in women with the way things go. Like, you're going to ask for a top guy after you've already been used, and then you're going to look for monogamy, knowing that you're in less of a position to ask for monogamy because you can't compete with the other women that he could have who would accept it, blah, blah, blah. Like, bottom line is, quite frankly, no matter how old, no matter how fat or ugly or broke, you name whatever quality that woman is, she can still ask for monogamy. Even if she's in the worst position to compete with other women, that man can still value her in whatever way he does, or he can want to be monogamous and didn't agree with that. Go be with a man that agrees with you on that factor. I wouldn't even have this debate with her like, oh yeah, you know, there's better women looking out there than you. You know, they're younger, they're faster, they're just smarter, they can fucking just do whatever they want. They're just bad as shit. Maybe that wasn't the kind of man she wanted anyway. You know what I'm saying? So,
for me, I need to fucking settle down and behave and grow up. Fuck you. It's bullshit.
You're assuming that the journey is a man that starts with nothing to something, because there's a lot of men that
is
have
exactly the journey of every man on earth. We are born without value.
So there's specificity in that.
Can I just
because that's not how it should be for everybody, and that's not how it is for everybody, and not for every woman either as well, may I just say.
Can I ask Brittany something, please? You know, like, then you've learnt in the past, and now you want to find someone to settle down. With hindsight now,
it's crazy.
Would you have reversed it and like started young, looking for someone to settle down with, looking for those values that now you know? I'm talking that with hindsight.
Okay, well, I actually, from 18 to 22, I was in a relationship. I've always actually been a lover girl, despite what I put out online for, you know,
I've never
views.
seen you online.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, that's even better. I have always wanted one person, and I feel like I was so delusional in thinking that, oh, I'm like you said, like, I have value, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm at my peak, like, why wouldn't you want to be with me? So going into these relationships, or just like just people, my goal was always to get commitment. Like, I'm giving you my time, I'm pouring into you because I want commitment. And the reality is I never really understood my value. So I was going through guys, giving up sex, doing this, and it didn't make sense. So I believe in, like, I stand on everything I do. Like, I don't do apology tours. It is what it is. And I think that's where I feel like when they talk about women being delusional and all these other things, it is true. Because what you have to understand is that there are repercussions to your decisions, which is fine. So then you're talking about, okay, well, I want this type of guy, I want this, that, and that. You're talking about maybe monogamy. That's 3 to 5% of animals are monogamous. I think that's what it is, right? So your window is really, really small for what you're looking for. And even to go on to the point you said where you were talking about, it's like a subconscious fear. I think it's like, for me, I feel like if it was more of a fear, I would have just stayed in my situation. Like, it wouldn't have made sense. Like, I mean, that was my first kid. I thought I waited and did it right. I left because I believe it. There's something else on my heart when it comes to love, and I'm just going to have to trust that. And if that means being alone, having a dog, I have to take that chance, because the Bentley, the ring, the house, and still getting, again, deceived, right? Disrespected, because deceit is disrespect, right? So I cannot settle for that. I can't suck a dick and shut up. And that is where a lot of people don't like my views and what I represent, because it is something new. I don't know how it's going to fucking end.
Hey,
I don't know what's going to happen.
What would you tell your 17?
I don't want to be with that guy.
What would you tell your 17-year-old self, knowing what you know now? Looking back, and you had to meet yourself at 17. What would you tell what would you tell yourself? Like, lock it down and wait for the right.
This is an important part for all the women who are like, just have low value and low self-esteem, and just will let any guy come into their life and use them in any way. This is an important conversation.
Man, don't have sex. What would you tell your 17-year-old self?
That the answers aren't outside of you, because I feel like I'd always look for men to answer all of my questions that I've ever had. I thought when I had a man, it would complete me. And I feel like too, especially with like my dad not being in my life, you look for somebody to guide me. Like, so that's where, for me, I put too much value in someone else having the answers for me. So that's why I'm really big on accountability. So I would just tell myself, like, to be patient, to take your time, because I was always quick. Oh, let's try to get in a relationship. Like, we weren't even compatible. There's a lot of just not compatible factors. So I feel like for me, it would be to slow down and to really get to know people instead of just blindly banking on potential that most likely will never be tapped into, or selling myself short because there's a fear of, well, I don't know, this could be the best that I could get. I might as well just shut up and suck a dick.
And that's what I meant about women nowadays, because exactly what you'd be telling your 17-year-old self is what happened back in the day. So when I'm repeating these things, I'm going, oh, you're old-fashioned. But it seems like women do what they like, and then they hit a certain age and say, oh, well, I've got to settle. But it's not settling. You're just getting whatever you can.
You know,
or whatever you deserve.
You know what?
Because if you think back now, you'd be telling people now, rather than say that auntie's old-fashioned or auntie don't know what she's talking about, look what she'd be telling her 17-year-old self, which ain't nothing that I ain't already said.
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
really and truly, let me finish.
She just want to disagree with her so bad, it's not even funny.
Because what I've always said, and you can check, I'm an older version of you. So where you've been, I've already been on an up comeback. So that's why I asked you, what would you tell your 17-year-old self? Because me telling you is, I'm telling my 30-year-old self. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So it's not that I'm old-fashioned.
13.
It's just that women hit a certain age and then realize, oh my God, it wasn't that old-fashioned. You know, it works. Because it does. But there's no point in waiting till you're a certain age to start thinking about it. You know, even if you're like, you hold your own accountability. So it's like if you meet somebody and they were like 17, 18 and you saw them acting a certain way, they ask you for advice, you wouldn't say do as I do. You would say, listen, this is what happened to me and this is what I thought and what I recommend you do is blah, blah, blah. Am I right or am I wrong? If they ask you for your advice.
No, I totally get what you're saying. Like, I totally agree with that. I think that no matter what you decide to do, you have to accept whatever repercussions come behind that. So any advice that I give to anybody is do what you want, but just know there are repercussions, good, bad, or indifferent, that are going to come behind it. So, I mean, and I think that's just where I'm at. I don't even think it's like an age thing. I think it's like, in reality, I have a son, and you really start asking yourself questions. And again, I hate that it took having a child to really look into my life and call myself out on my bullshit.
So if you got pregnant earlier, if you got pregnant at 18, 19, would it?
I was always on birth control. Okay. I was on birth control for a decade. I got off birth control because the person I was with wanted to have a baby. Okay. So again, I thought I did it right. Clearly not, because I wasn't married, but it still didn't work out because it just wasn't my guy. So that's where I just think, like, even if I still would have taken it slow, there just were a lot of people that just were genuinely not my person, and that's okay.
I would just
speaking of marriage, I wanted to know, do you think we're in a post-marriage society? Because on one hand,
she asks questions and just
we hear that women should wait till they're married to have sex, but at the same time, we also hear from the men that they don't want to get married anymore. So what do we do with that?
Birth control for a decade is crazy. Y'all know the damaging shit that happens to your body when you're on birth control. Don't even get me started on that, though.
Seems like it's true, because nowadays a lot of people are looking at marriage as a contract rather than a partnership. And there's a huge difference between that, because with a contract, there are so many terms and many headaches and this and that. And
well, it is a contract.
Well,
women are paid
that's why.
To leave, yeah.
But that's because that is what it is now. Because realistically, the traditional sense of marriage is not a contract, really, in terms of the law. Once the law is involved, that's when everything went tits up, I think.
Yeah. So the problem is that there's zero advantage to marriage in the Western world for a man.
Excuse me.
There is zero statistical advantage.
Tate charging
if
his
you use your
controller.
mind,
No, he
if you use your
definitely
head
tapped
instead of your
out.
heart.
That was more like a
and look at the
woman,
advantages to
feminine,
getting married. There are
intimate,
absolutely not
like,
really none.
growth.
Because this new idea of new age feminism
Spiritual
just
journey
basically
conversation.
destroys all men
So
in the
respectfully,
idea, in the event of her leaving. Look at the advantages to getting married. There are absolutely not really none. Because this new idea of new age feminism just basically
Legally and
destroys
financially.
all men in the idea, in the event of her leaving. And it's very common that women leave, right? Let's stop the man versus woman attack, et cetera, et cetera. Life's difficult for everybody. We all have different challenges, different things to go through. But if a woman marries a man and it goes wrong, she has emotional heartbreak, fine. But if a man marries a woman and it goes wrong, he has emotional heartbreak. Plus, everything he has ever worked for is ripped out from underneath him. And he has to give that chick money forever.
In some places, you don't even have to be married.
Exactly.
That's why the men don't want to live with the women either.
That's right. So when you make these rules and these laws, right, under the guise of feminism and equality, all this garbage, all you're doing is scaring men away from commitment.
Who the fuck said it was
and then
cheaper
you
to
have to
keep
add
her?
in the other hidden element. And the other hidden element is what I said earlier, is whose fault a lot of this is promiscuous women, right? So when society's broken down, if women were saying, if all women got together and said, we'll only have sex after marriage, guess what men would do? get married. But you don't, right? So now you're in Miami. I go to Miami. I can fuck anything in the club. I don't have to marry any of them. If I marry them, I get wrecked. So, like, let's all use our brains here. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to be like, well, no. Bounce. See ya. No. So men have been scared away from the idea of marriage, and that's a lot of that is the fault of this new bullshit law and this new feminism and this new crap.
Well, even if she waited or gave sex up on the first night, it's like that doesn't make me look for long-term qualities. Like, if a woman fucked me fast or just made me wait 6 months, like it doesn't make me look any more for long-term qualities or not. Either I wanted to be in a relationship with you, or I'm looking for a relationship, or I'm not. Now, if I lie to you just to have sex, then that's something else. But like, to think that her holding or waiting for sex would for the average guy, probably would. For the average guy, probably would. Like, I'm gonna just do whatever I gotta do to fuck. That's because he can't be honest enough with her to just let her know, I just want to fuck you. And then, to be honest, sexual attraction is an important element of a relationship. But like, she has to gauge: does he want what I want? Does he want a relationship? Is he even considering that? You know what I'm saying? That's an important thing.
They don't give men.
And the woman, I'm gonna make them wait because they'll look at me like, come on now.
Any tactical advantage, and I'm talking about small things. A man's not even allowed to be a man in his own house. You know, in England, you will get accused of emotional abuse. I can marry a woman, not lay a hand on her. I can just raise my voice at her. That's emotional abuse. I can raise my voice at her because she's going out drinking with dudes. She can go out drinking 6 nights a week with men. And I can say, what the fuck, you're my wife, sit down. She can call the cops, call me emotionally abusive. I get arrested now. Now there's a court case against me. I have to go to court and defend myself. She'll divorce me, take my house. I have to sell my car because she's drinking vodka with fucking God knows who.
But you notice that
it's insanity.
What do you think of child support?
And that's another interesting thing, because a lot of these arguments, it goes beyond man and woman, and it goes into the larger sphere as a whole, right? Because we talked earlier about war and how a lot of men used to die, and that doesn't happen anymore. So what you used to have in societies, and I'm not saying I have all the answers, I'm just commenting, right? What you used to have in societies is a bunch of men would die at war, because men have more dangerous lives than women. There'd be a bunch more women than men. The top G's would impregnate a bunch of women, and the top G's could take care of the women, and that'd be et cetera, et cetera. That's now changed, right? So a lot of the reason that monogamy is pushed is because it's good for society. And it is good for society. It's good for society as a whole to have a man, a woman, a family, they're together, the man provides for the woman, etc. The government doesn't want to pay for all these kids. If you don't have child support, who's paying for these kids? The government does it. It breaks down, right? So that's why child support is enforced in many parts of the world. In certain other parts of the world, child support isn't enforced because they have religious beliefs or genuine family beliefs that keep the families together. But in the Western world, now you need child support because you've broken things down to the point where men don't want to be married to chicks. Chicks don't want to listen to the man. The man can't even be the man in his own household. He can't even feel respected where he goes. His woman gives him no status. And
when he says a man can't be a man in his household, I'm going to call bullshit on that, because I would not be with a woman who I cannot be who I am in my household. Now, if you are weak as fuck, I feel like he's speaking for the weak-ass men. The weak-ass men who barely scrape a woman off the ground and accept whatever she gives them in the relationship and just follow her, all her plans, directions, and influence. He talking about the weak-ass men. He's definitely talking about the weak motherfucking men. Because there ain't no goddamn way a man cannot be a man in his household. How has he allowed himself to be that weak? I am who I am. You like me or you don't. Get the fuck out or stay. I'm going to be who I am regardless. Most guys accept whatever. They can't get pussy like that. I mean, that's a choice. If you would rather have a woman who makes your life miserable and makes you weak as a man, rather than have 0 women, well, that's the difference between me and you. I'll have 0 women before I sit here and have a bunch of women who use me for money, who waste my time, who get on my nerves. I'll have 0 bitches before I deal with any of that bullshit. And that's the difference between the reason you guys end up in the positions y'all be in, because y'all feel as though y'all be lucky to have a woman that's out of your league.
Now he doesn't want to fucking deal with her
Jesus
anymore.
Christ.
So how do you get that kid paid for? Well, then tell the man, or you go to jail, and you just come along with the fucking long arm of the law and you fuck him. And so yeah, it's difficult. It's hard to answer. Yeah, but it's hard to answer. The true answer to all of it is an idealistic answer. I don't like to think idealistically and talk idealistically, but it's the truth. The true answer to
a lot of men are weak for women. I'm not speaking for weak men.
Is to instill.
This is what it is.
In the man a sense of duty in which he wants to take care of his woman regardless, because that's his child. But you will do that. I'll tell you how you do that. You do that by inspiring out of the man by being a very good woman. So I'll give you an example.
Now look at this. He said the law. He doesn't let men be men because women can say emotional abuse and you go to jail that he can't control the woman. First of all, whether you use the word control, influence, dominate, or direct, a woman that respects her man will choose to listen to him. If she tries to be spiteful against you and gets you locked up because of emotional abuse, you already were in a position with a woman that did not respect you. When you respect her, it comes by choice, not force. So if she felt as though, oh, he did this and he did that. Let's say she's even lying to hate you. Who chose to be with that woman? It still goes back to being a weak man. Fuck the law. I'm not. What are we trying to position these excuses?
If I had a child with
obviously, but that's exactly why men don't get married.
Woman,
men don't get married because women weaponize shit against them. How about you vet the woman you're with so you don't end up in that dumbass position? If you do not know how to properly pick a woman to where you're not going to deal with that, and again, what I mean properly, I coach people all the time. You niggas say y'all move in with a woman after 6 months. She's your girlfriend after 3 months. What the fuck is this weak ass timeline? Do y'all know the honeymoon phase or the being in love phase can last up to 2 years? I just called my grandfather. He's been with his woman for 22 years. They spent 10 years together before they got married, and they've been married for 12. You niggas be ready to throw everything away in 1 year, to a year and a half, 2 years. Y'all think that's a good relationship, a long-term relationship. And then be surprised when some shit happened like that in 4 years. Come on, man.
She was always a great woman to me. She never
and again, like we said earlier, if she's so bad or she's pretty or she's so out of your league that you ignore red flags, and then end up in a position like that, you chose to be with her.
Cheated on me. She was a good woman to me, and I was running around being whatever. And she's like, look, I just can't put up with you anymore. You're top G. You're going to do what you're going to do. I'm going to look after your kid. I'm going to see you anytime you want. I care about you. Please don't leave me in poverty. I'd say, cool. 100%. I'm not a fucking dickhead.
Can I
cool,
say, but that's a real man though, because I was in a situation but I was just in a situation like that to where it's like hearts don't break even, and that's the reality too. It's like if those morals and principles are not instilled in a man, none of that shit matters. So obviously the child support stuff obviously hits close home to me because I'm already $50,000. It's just in lawyer fees trying to get him to provide. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it sucks because it's like you put him in that case. Why don't you want to do more? And it's just because, again, of the relationship. It's personal. It's not about our
personal. That's right.
So it's like, if you're not.
So I just feel like it's like, why do you get money for making a poor choice?
Okay, whatever direction she's trying to take it in. People with Brittany Renner just accepted, though. She's agreeing with the point Tate just made. You be with a man who will actually take care of you and sit here and say, I'm going to look over and care for my child, or, the well-being of my child and the lifestyle of the child's mother. Or you choose to be with a man who would sit here and fight you in court for trying to help benefit the child's lifestyle or take care of the child. Now, mind you, these child support cases be fucking ridiculous. They be some odd numbers. $500,000 a month, $200,000 a month for Kanye, or $100,000. So let's be honest, a child does not need that. But the whole purpose of that is that so that the child can sort of like, if the child is living with the mother, that it can not just go from like poor to like millionaire father. But at the end of the day, if that man really cared for his child, that man would make sure that his child is not sitting down bad. Even if I'm not paying $50,000 or $100,000 a month in child support, my child not gonna be down bad if I got it. But if you were a man who would say fuck you and that baby, that's tough.
So
I just
Fuck
feel
them
like
kids.
It's like, why
that
do you
is
get
tough.
money for making a poor
You chose
choice?
to be with a man
Well,
like
it wasn't
that.
a poor choice because it took
Poor
me.
choice.
I'm not trying to
Well,
like
let's go with that.
disrespect you in any way. It's just like if you
That is
laugh.
tough.
And
No.
so it's
Yeah,
like, why do you get money for it? It just doesn't make sense.
because we made a commitment.
That's
So we
it.
made at the end of the day, we made a commitment. We have a forever commitment. Fuck marriage. We are forever family. So again, as someone who is literally going through this, if I made more money than him, I would be paying him child support, and that would be fair to me.
But this is what's really interesting. What's truly interesting is if you go to other countries, and I'm talking about civilized countries, right? If you go to Poland or Czech Republic or whatever, these countries, which are in many metrics more civilized than the West, they're safer to live in, they're cleaner, etc. There's no child support laws. So if you have a divorce, the man just takes care of the woman because that's his kid and that's just what he's supposed to do and that's just it. So what you're saying is, you're right about the man having the morality instilled inside of them. And my point is that the reason a lot of this doesn't exist, the reason men don't have morality installed in them is not just about the individual case of the man. It's about society as a whole. It's about women as a whole, men as a whole, the dating game as a whole, the life he's living as a whole. And this is the world we live in. This is why I was talking about how dangerous new think is, because now we have this new think, this new world, and we're living in this new world. And the truth is, as a man, now the game has changed. In the game of chess, sometimes it's not about winning. It's about making sure you don't lose. If you can not lose, if you can not blunder any pieces and protect your king long enough, you'll win the game. And there's a lot of men who are now like, okay, how do I not lose? Well, you know what? I become fucking ruthless. That's how I don't lose. I get all my sex because women are promiscuous. I get laid as much as I want. I don't let anyone fucking tie me into anything dumb. Any bitch wants to get fresh to me or fucking talk to another dude, I cut her off financially. And you just get ruthless so you don't lose the game. But that's because the game's been rigged against men. So the harder you rig the game against us, the more ruthless we're going to have to be to compete. And it's unfortunate. I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm just saying why men do what they do.
Can I just say with regards to
over the
Brittany, I
average
just
of both
think that
sides.
with regards to child support, you got a kid, you look after it.
Hey,
I do.
Not
That's
you, the
what
men.
I do look after my son.
No, not you.
Okay, I was like, hold on.
That's why I said. No, that's why I said with regards to the child support. That's what I first said. I think that you have a kid that you should look after it. I don't agree with men giving the women money. But I think it's disgusting that a man can have a child and not support him.
So do I. But this is another thing. So this is the comments we have to make, right? Because we don't have all the answers. We have to make the comments on it.
Chad,
This goes
but
into
at
the
that
deeper
1 hour
point.
and 30-minute mark.
Every time a court rules in favor of a chick having $100,000 a month, that puts men off to a level. Like, it's fine if there was a baseline child support, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. That's if you have a kid, baseline, regardless of income. If your man wants to give you more, he does. If he doesn't, whatever. But when you come along and start saying this percent of a man's income, do you have any idea how scary that is to a man who works for his money? He works for his money. And do you know why it's scary? It's not just because he's giving his money away. It's because he knows he isn't giving money to the kid.
Yeah.
The kid, you can raise a kid on $500 a month in most of the world. You want that kid in Gucci, you in a nice car, going on dates with another dude with my money. I'd rather burn the fucking house down than to give it to you under
they
those
should make
circumstances.
vouchers in it.
Oh shit, Chad, that's the hour and 30-minute mark. That's part one. We're gonna react to the other half tomorrow. Or YouTube will see this chronologically someday. We'll see.